Show number 7 of the Unwavering Stance. I'm your host, Stark4machines, joined by Deedledo and Slimb44. Deedle, what have you been up to?
Chasing challenges. Oh my. Pain champ to the extreme.
How are those this league compared to others?
They're, I don't, they're, so the big thing that I'm facing is I've been playing in HCSSF pretty much all league, right? And some of the challenges take a little bit to get to in HCSSF, kind of like your character shouldn't die, right? So like
Right.
Uber Elder, Maven, I-83 Mastermind, Cirrus 8, like if your characters die, your progression doesn't get reset, but it takes you time to get back to the point to where you were, right? So what I did is I ended up swapping over to softcore trade for a bit, just for the end of this league, just to chase those challenges. And I had a trickster, an Essence Drain Contagion trickster that I ran in Badger Private League, so I didn't have to like level a whole new character. And I had some currency left over from Badger Private League and Anomaly that we were playing. So I used that to kind of upgrade the character a little bit, and I started doing some things, and I got quite a bit done. I got Uber Ziri done. I got Cirrus 8 done. Bring on my challenges just so I don't got the simulacrum done. Um Cortex, I got the Cortex done. But then I moved on to Uber Elder, and the damage on Essence Drain Contagion with Blight, you used a lot of Blight in that fight, is fine until you get to the, like, last half of the fight, and then the squid poopers come out, like, in droves, and it's just you get overwhelmed by them. You can't kill them fast enough, so they shit out all the degen, and then eventually your whole arena is just covered in degen, you have nowhere to go. So, went back to the drawing board, and, Ali came and said, "Why don't you level up a Templar? I'll give you all my gear from the Forbidden Right totems." And I was like, "Man, I don't want to level up a Templar again. Like, dude, I just want to get this shit done on this character." Well, he convinced me. He's like, "Look, I got leveling gear. I'll give it to you. Just level them." So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm just in the process of converting it over. I leveled with Hollow Palm. Went really fast. Took me like, I don't know, 5 hours to get the maps or something like that. And now I'm like 72. I just converted over to Forbidden Right, and I'm trying to get my res and my attributes and all my gear in order, and then we'll level up, I don't know, another couple levels and decimate Uber Elder, Maven, Mastermind,
Well, you definitely passed
and
the DPS checks.
oh, it will. Yeah, for sure. It's the damage, especially on this variant. I played Forbidden Right in hardcore. I think we went over it before,
Yep.
which I built it a bit more defensive than you would in softcore. And this one does, yeah, substantial amount of damage. Like I just ran a what was it, T11 map at like 72, and the boss just like fell over immediately.
It was one of the 3 builds this league: Forbidden Right
Yep.
Totems, Spectral Shield Throw, and Necromancer. Specters.
Toxic Rain too,
Are they gonna nerf Forbidden Right totems?
yeah, they already said
Yeah,
they
they
are.
already
Okay.
said that, yeah.
Okay.
And
I missed it.
Saboteur too, Seismic Trap.
Yeah.
Eh,
I knew that was. We knew that one was coming.
it's not as viable as Forbidden Right, and
Forbidden Right's really not that viable in hardcore. You don't get that much defenses. Like even on the one I built in hardcore that's happened to survive to 90 with the little bit of defenses I was able to put on it, the defense isn't there.
Right.
Ziz said the same thing. Like, yeah, it's good. It's got some damage. Sure, it passes the DPS checks, but your character, if a tank or a powerful mob looks at you sideways, you're gonna fall over, which doesn't work in hardcore.
yeah, I don't think
Of
it
course,
was
the
ever
game's
meant
not
to
balanced
be.
around hardcore,
Yeah,
so
I don't think it was ever meant to be a hardcore build.
no, I don't think it was either.
Well,
Especially
Mm-mm.
the whole self-damaging thing. Just doesn't work.
yep. 3K
So yeah,
life
I'm
software
chasing
build.
challenges at the moment. I'm at 29 of 36, but I have a couple that are just I need one more thing, like 4 or 5. Basically, I'm basically there. I just need to get like 2 or 3 more things and we're good. So we're cutting it close. Cutting it close, but I feel like I can do it.
Yeah, you got
Heard.
6 days.
6 days. Yeah, and I got about another day of
Blast
leveling
it
this
out, dude.
guy and then we'll hit the Maven. I have 2 Mavens writs, so if I fail one, I can still get on the other one, which I feel confident about that one. The main thing that I'm going to be worried about is the memory game because my short-term memory is shit. Uber Elder will be fine. We just needed something with damage and
Yep.
Mastermind, like all the that'll be fine. And then I have 20 more corrupted red maps to do, which I have a shit ton of red maps that will just corrupt a bunch of them. I have 1,500 more map tiers, which is 100 T15s. You could blast that out in a day. And then 1 conditional medved, and that's basically it. If I can't get that done in 6 days, then something's wrong. So that's me.
What
About
about you,
you,
Slim?
Slim?
Me, I mean, picked up the Diablo 2, Diablo 2 Resurrected, like everybody else did. You know, reliving the nostalgia is great. I'm still playing it. No, I've just been hanging out in the background, listening to the path stuff, watching the Twitter tweets and the teasers and stuff. You know, watching people. I'm not over here shooting down ideas or nothing, but you know, I'm over here chilling, doing my own thing. Been playing a little bit of New World actually. My birthday was 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 nights ago. So
Happy
um,
birthday.
yeah, somebody gifted me New World, and I had to play it. So yeah,
What
I've been
is
playing for the last.
It didn't blow up your GPU?
No, hell no.
Well, you don't
I
have
got
you don't have a 30 series, right?
mm-mm.
was
No,
that
I got a
the
2080. I got a 2080. What's up?
was that the consensus that it was blowing up GPUs?
30
No, I ain't heard nothing.
yes, certain 30 series. Search it. Google it.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm
I
The
ain't
only
sure
heard
thing
nothing
you'll
I
that's
heard
crazy.
find
about is people were waiting in queues.
no,
Yeah,
yeah, search I'm telling you, the certain 30 series
yeah.
were literally catching on
To
fire.
to say the least, I know people were asking questions about Stark. They randomly came in Stark's channel and asked about New World when he's playing Diablo 2 Resurrected. But the people, if they're still lurking and chilling, anybody's curious about it. The foundation for the game is phenomenal. They have a lot of room to grow, and that's a good thing. But I mean, if you're into MMOs, yeah, it's a fun one to play. The immersion, by far, one of the coolest things about it is, you know, like most of the time, if you know, I know a lot of people have played different versions of games throughout their life and stuff, and like most of the time, a game that focuses on sound design is usually something that's like it's really important to the game, like a shooter, right? Shooters are like one of the first things you think of when you think of like sound design, or like a thriller game where you're like, you know,
Sure.
you rely on sound, like directional sound and 360, you know, that kind of stuff, right? Well, this is the first MMO that like they've actually, I mean, obviously, I hope so. It's Amazon. They've taken a lot of care into sound design, and it's a very immersive, very unique feeling. But I mean, if you're into any MMOs, it's like a mixture between Guild Wars 2, because I played the hell out of Guild Wars 2 back in college. Guild Wars 2, some Skyrim. If you're, you know, Skyrim fan, I think a lot of people love Skyrim out there. And you know, if you're a PvP head, this is for you, because I like pooping on plebs in here. So you know, that's how you roll. But
So
yeah, it's a good game. What's
what
up?
is the difference between Guild Wars 2 and World of Warcraft? Because I only know, in terms of MMOs, World of Warcraft is the only one I've experience with.
I mean, the difference between them. I mean, I don't know. They're both MMOs.
Right.
Guild Wars 2 is heavy on PvP. When it comes to like open world and large scale. So like world versus world, they do world versus world and stuff like that. It's like real large scale, like 50 versus 50 and stuff, and you know, like capturing points and stuff. World of Warcraft doesn't have that. They just have like open world PvP and arenas, and like maybe some battlegrounds where it's like set 10v10 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Guild Wars 2 is probably the better combat system too. It's not. It's like aiming, you know, skill shotting. So it's like a lot of like skill based. You know, you shoot somebody and you have to aim. You literally have to like hit your shots, otherwise you're not gonna do no damage to people, depending on what you play. And
Hmm.
WoW has like, you know, tab targeting, lock on to somebody's name and hit your skills, and it
Yeah.
automatically does damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a difference. Yeah, a lot of people like these action pack MMOs now, where it's like action combat, not tab targeting combat. So that's the
So
difference.
is that what New World has to offer? Is like targeting? You have to aim.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep. Factions, big factions, control over territory. The cool part, I think one of the coolest parts, and I'm down with it, is like they went back. Most of the time MMOs are like always going for like futuristic stuff when they go fantasy, shit like that, right? This is like went back. So like it's like colonization and pilgrimage and settlements and stuff. It's like old school, blunderbuss and fucking, rifles with fucking, gunpowder and shit. Stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Hatchets and hammers and stuff, beating each other up with, stats. I mean, obviously magical stuff, but like they went back. Almost like if it's like the fucking 1600s or some shit, 1700s. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've never been able to.
Yeah, Link said it too. Look what he said before you finish that sentence. That might make you look at it different. Yeah.
Link or
combo up.
Licks?
Licks.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I read that.
No.
Early America MMO.
That's funny as fuck.
I just
like
don't
colonization
know.
of America.
I don't know all the differences between MMOs, and it seems to me that because I tried Final Fantasy 14, like and it just seems like in the very beginning when I'm level under 10 or whatever, or level under 20, they're all the same. You just you do these really boring quests.
They are pretty much the same, except they all have like twists to it.
But it's like they're different when you reach endgame, and I was never caught by any of them in the beginning.
If you're not a PvP fan, this is not for you.
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta like PvP for New World. I mean, you can like. There's a lot. I was like, why make an MMO about early? It's Warcraft. I mean,
it's like that's why I gravitate more toward the ARPG genre because
because you can play solo and you ain't got to worry about people too.
That and there's so much less waiting. Like
waiting. What you mean? You say waiting. What do you mean by waiting?
Waiting around, like queuing up for a fight.
No, not even that. I just mean like.
Mean by that.
So to do this one quest, you have to walk all the way to this other town. You don't just like instantly portal there, like you do in an ARPG. Did Deedle freeze again? Deedle froze again. What's up?
He froze again. What's going on?
I don't know.
What's going on with your shit?
It's not my shit. I'm fine in the Discord.
I don't know.
I know it's Stark stuff.
I literally just updated Discord today, so like right before the cast.
What's going on with your? Oh, he's good now.
So maybe it's that. Yeah, I just have to. I have to like switch the camera view setting, like the camera view.
I mean,
from
every
MMO.
Every MMO wants you to like to answer your question. Every MMO wants you to like experience the like large scale world. They want to like to have that illusion where everything's like living and it's massive, right? Massive multiplayer online.
But the problem with that, it just takes fucking forever to do anything or get anywhere.
But that's where. But that's well. I mean, it's a grindy. Every MMO is grindy. There's no difference in any of them. They're all grindy at the end of the day.
I mean,
ARPGs are like the cousin of of MMOs. Right. They're grindy too. But it's. I guess the best way to look at it, Stark, is like exploration. Like this game does it right too. So like there's like that breaks monotony of like doing the quest while you're doing quest or while you're PvPing. There's all kinds of like curiosities and shinies and stuff. You're like, ooh, what's this? What's that shiny shit over there? What's this monster? What's this? That kind of thing. So all kinds of shit all over the place. But
I don't know.
I mean, there's really not much really the way to answer your question on that one. It's just you just gotta play a couple of them to understand it and see it.
I think I'd rather be role playing in GTA.
Sure, I agree. Hey, that's an experience I would like to do too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think I'm gonna do it this week.
Yep.
I asked my friend that's on. I can't even remember the name of the server. No Pixel. Yeah, I asked my friend on No Pixel. I was like, "Hey, how do I start this?" And she gave me tips and.
Dad's talking about how he prefers like certain things out of ARPGs too. I'm the same way. Like I get my fix from like multiple games. Deedle said it a couple times too, where I like to play multiple, like variety. So like I have my fix for shooters, and then I have my fix for MMOs, and then ARPGs. Path like nails it for everything that I need I get out of an ARPG. So there's different. He says different. There's different fixes for each one.
I haven't found a shooter.
Play Hunt with me. Play Hunt with me, dude.
No, I already played Hunt.
You have?
Yeah, I played.
You can play with me. You can play with me, dude.
Yeah,
were you scared when you played it the first time? Were you scared? Were you scared, dude? Was it frightening?
You scared? You scared?
Was it frightening? Because I tell you right now, I crouched on my nutsack so much in that game when I first got it. I was terrified to move.
No.
By the time I found my first clue, people were already killing the boss. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. All these weird sounds. I didn't know nothing.
No, it's not scared. It was completely.
It's a thriller. It's a thriller, dude.
It's not scared. It was just completely like, what the fuck is going on? What, you know?
Come play with me. We'll play some.
I think I still have it. But
right.
there's nothing that's like fast-paced deathmatch, you know.
I don't do that. I don't know. Fast-paced deathmatch, like run and gun, like Call of Duty shit. Nah.
No, not Call of Duty.
Thing.
Faster than
I
Call of
hate
Duty,
that
like Quake 2.
Well, play that shit. That new game out. What's that new game out with the Portal and it's like half Portal, half fucking Halo or whatever that shit is.
I
people
played
talking about.
it. I hate it.
What? People praising it.
It's because it's like Halo.
Oh, see, I don't like Halo. That's why I haven't played it.
Yeah, I don't like Halo either. I tried it. But
I don't know, bro. You're looking for a perfect game that just don't exist right now.
no, I'm looking for games in the 90s.
Well, Stark, what you been doing then?
Yeah, Diablo 2. Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Heard that.
It's
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well,
Nah.
We could go down that list, but no,
I'm saying
the hype is definitely over on it because I'm looking at the number of viewers on Twitch right now. You remember when it first came out the first weekend? Do you remember how many viewers it had on Twitch?
I don't remember how many.
Above 200,000.
No, I didn't pay any attention to it.
Okay.
It's got 24.3 thousand or 24,000 now. 24,300. So that about
We knew that this was gonna happen, right? Like how much replayability does Diablo 2 actually have? People were excited about it because of the nostalgia factor and that it's got some new graphics.
When ladder comes out, more people show up again. And then when the new
ladder
content
comes out, everybody's gonna be on the different ship. If there was more better games out right now, it wouldn't even have got the attention that it did.
More better.
But, ladder will come out. People will show up. There'll be an increase in numbers for a little bit because everybody wants to push that competitive ladder. That's always competitive in the competitive side of games. People want to do it. And then the new content will come out. They talked about what they want to do in the future. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be 200K. I would be surprised if it's ever back to 200K, 300K again. But yeah, for sure.
I think that's what I am feeling. There's not really a game out there right now that I'm really enjoying.
New World. Just kidding, dude. Just kidding.
I really don't like MMOs.
I feel you. They ain't for everybody.
Because it's like I even tried Genshin Impact and I got bored before level 7. You know.
No thanks.
But it's an MMO, isn't it?
It's weeby shit though.
But it's a fucking MMO.
Yeah, it's MMO, but it's the whole point of like aesthetics. Like some aesthetics just don't do it for people. You know what I mean? Think about it. A lot of people, I know a lot of people who are like, listen, check this out. Y'all both can relate to this, I'm sure. You guys have probably had multiple conversations. I know Deedle probably had a conversation with it. I know I do. I have IRL friends that are like, I love Diablo 3. And I'm like, so you like RPGs? Yeah, I like RPGs. And I'm like, well, what about Path? Path looks, it looks old.
Really?
It looks stiff. I don't like the way it looks. The graphics are just look, And I went,
Path looks really good compared to Diablo 2.
I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you like RPGs or do you like the way it looks? What is it? Like the way the games look. What is it that you're looking at? You know, like I said, it's just some people like are turned off by aesthetics. Like some people don't like cartoony looks. Like some people would rather have Dota 2 over League of Legends because of the cartoony shit.
Oh, I don't even know what the difference is.
Yeah. Just Source 2 engine. You ever played Half-Life 2?
Yeah, I have.
Half-Life 2 engine. Dota 2 is ran on Half-Life 2. And then, League is ran on like cartoon shader cells like fucking Borderlands 2 or some shit.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh. So Lix said Cookie Run Kingdom, and I'll be happy to report
what the fuck is that?
Lix, my 9-year-old stepdaughter plays Cookie Run Kingdom and likes it. So I'm gonna have to go with a no on that.
H is trolling you, Stark.
Yeah, I know. All right, so where do we start on this balance manifesto? Are we gonna start
at the beginning?
Start with flasks.
Pick some big points. Yeah, let's run it.
Ailment.
Yeah, pick some big ones. Let's go.
Ailment mitigation is where they start. You can just go in order.
All right. Let's see. Core character defenses.
Part 1. So a big thing they're doing is they're making element mitigation much easier
Yep. Together.
for your average player
Yep.
to get, and giving you a lot more choices in where you would like to go. You want to just be freeze and shock immune? Okay, you can do that. Do you want to reserve an aura, a 50% aura, and just be blanket ailment immune? Ta-da, you could do that.
Yeah.
Do you just want to be bleed immune while you have steel skin out? You could do that. Do you want to be ailment immune or freeze, shock, ignite, bleed, corrupting blood immune when you just press a flask and not have to react? So it'd be done. Do you still want to be reactive and get a very long, up to 17-second mitigation or um, immunity
Immunity?
to that ailment? You could do that. They're giving us lots of choices, which in my
Sure.
eyes is very, very good because
It is.
Sure.
it doesn't pigeonhole you into be a raider and then take the crystal scan cluster.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody wants to play a raider. As good as raiders are, not everyone wants to do that. So to give players the choice that if they don't care about ignite, which I can probably say a lot of players won't really care about ignite.
Anyone with regeneration.
Yeah, ES builds do. Yeah, true.
Yep.
Yeah, because it stops their recharge.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see a lot of players this league going purity of elements early because you're just going to be immune to all elemental ailments, and that's just going to open up so much. And with the new changes, which we'll get into a little bit later with the aura stuff,
Yeah.
with aura reservation, you'll be able to run that with a little bit of investment into
Efficiency.
efficiency. You'll be able to run a purity of elements, a hatred, and depending on what you do, maybe another 25%. So I think a lot of people before they get their ailment crafts and everything and get all that situated, plus it gives you res. I really think that Purity of
Dark fix
Elements is
yourself.
gonna be MVP in Gauntlet this league, and it's going to cause them to make it go back to negative 40% player res rather than negative 20. Just when that one change, I think Gauntlet
Think
will
it'll go back
go
to
back
40.
to
Yeah.
negative 40. Yep.
Start Needles froze again, dude.
Damn
What
it.
the fuck, dude?
I don't know. That's annoying though.
It is.
Interesting.
Yeah, where's my freeze immunity, dude?
Let's
Dude,
try
Get
this.
unfrozen, dude.
Let's try keeping my webcam off so it stops searching for my webcam and see if that fixes it.
So that's gonna be a really good change that I kind of wish would have came in this league, but sometimes you got to have problems to create solutions, right? You can't always
Right.
create the solution before the problem is here. So this
True.
league kind of created a lot of problems that needed to be solved, and I
I
think
think it's shown the light on a lot of problems. The problems were
true,
already there.
true. Some of these problems have already been have existed for quite a while. That's very true. But yes, it brought them to the forefront to be that they needed to be addressed, to which a lot of them are being addressed.
So when you said the 17-second immunity, which one is that? Just because there's so many freaking
On the
ways
flask
to
stuff.
mitigate. So
Yeah, it's in the
so
flask.
that's on the flask, yeah.
But then it
Okay.
says, for example, immunity to bleeding and corrupting blood during flask effect. Well, that's a different one. But yeah, it's on flask stuff. So you know how our flasks are now, where it says
Yeah,
you
at
have
the
4
4
seconds of
seconds. Yeah.
immunity
Aren't
if
they
you
doubling
have
that?
this. No, it'll be 17 seconds
Wow.
on max tier because
Okay.
flasks are now getting tiers.
Yeah.
Or as it says here, there'll be like immunity to bleed, freeze, shock, ignite during flask effect with 35% to 39% less duration. But that's a suffix. You can still roll increased duration on your prefix, and they are increasing the duration of, I think, all flasks. So if you want the old style flask and get 4 to 5 seconds of
Yeah, that's why I thought
unconditional bleed,
they were
then
doubling
you
it.
can do it.
They're doubling duration of like flasks or whatever.
It's not doubled, no.
No.
It's there's different. So Quicksilver, Diamond, Jade, Granite, Quartz, Silver are now 6 seconds from 4. Ruby, Sapphire, Topaz, Aquamarine, Sulfur, Basalt, Stibnite are 8 from 5. Gold, Iron, nobody cares about. Bismuth, Flash now lasts 8.5
Nope.
from 5.5. Amethyst now lasts 6.5 from 4.5.
Okay. Oh, so it's like a 150% then, not double.
About that, yeah. So that's I think that's a great change for everybody. I don't think anybody is upset about the ailment stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think the element changes are going to make it too easy?
No, it just gives us more choices.
Okay.
In whose eyes?
Yeah, and whose eyes? Like,
A lot of people said that. I know DSLE was the first person to say, "The
say
fuck?
what?
Like, what's the point in ailment? Like ailment, the damage anymore? Like, we don't have to fear it anymore. Yada yada
But
yada,
in
or something like that."
regards to what though? Like, you still
I don't
need
remember.
to
I know,
you
yeah,
still need to invest in it.
but it's almost like huge, like the big buffs. Like it's almost like I guess he was maybe referring to maybe it might have been too easy to get it. Like it's gonna be really easy to have like a complete immunity.
Is it though?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just asking. I'll just ask him.
You're still gonna have to invest in it. Like, if you run Purity of Elements, you're giving up 50%
That's
of your
50%.
mana. That's a 50% aura now.
True.
So that means you, instead of running 2 damage
You can build a
or
1/1.
a defensive and a damage with a little bit of the efficiency, you're now running a 50% aura to be immune to ailments. If
Yep.
you take Cannot Be Frozen on Brine King, you can't do any of the other
Other
major
ones.
stuff.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you put it
it's
on your flask, then you can't do other modifiers on your
On your
flask, and you
flasks.
still need to react or have them up all the time. So
That's true. You're right,
I don't
Sofa.
agree. I don't agree. I don't agree that it's too easy because it's still going to take a little bit.
Of effort to get it done. Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought the same thing. I was just wondering, I was like, well, maybe I kept thinking when I read it, I was like, let me look at that again. Is it too easy? I was asking y'all. Because I mean, I was like, I still feel okay about it. I'm not upset about it. I just people
I
that were like yelling in all caps on Twitter about it being too easy after they posted about it.
I won't even
I
know
don't
how
care what people say though. Who cares
It's
really?
just interesting to think about. That's that's the
Form
whole
your
point why
own
we have this.
opinions.
Yeah,
because it's
yeah, yeah.
someone's
That's
differing
why we have
opinion.
this, so we can talk about things and like talk
Yeah.
about subjects and topics. Yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
I won't even know how I feel about it until I play it. Because I mean, on the
I
sheet,
I
agree.
feel you. I agree
on the
too.
sheet, it looks like it looks
No,
how it is, but
Not only that, but this is all coming before we even know what the league mechanic is.
what the league
Right.
Like,
mechanic
nobody
is,
knows anything about Scourge yet.
what
We
our
don't
skill
know
tree is,
what the skill tree is
yeah,
gonna need to be.
that's
We
just-
have a little bit of information about, yeah, they're gonna put some block
are
here,
y'all
and they're gonna
excited?
change the location and nerfing EE, and we know there's some new keystones,
that's
and
right. I
but
forgot
for the
about
whole, like, the whole picture, we don't know
It's
what the whole
being
picture is.
reformed. Yeah,
I
being
forgot
shaped
about the
again.
EE change, which
Yep,
It's
me
like
too.
having a puzzle with like
There's
75% of the pieces gone. You may not know what it is.
Right.
I can't think. I mean, it would take me time to even think about it, but I can't think off the top of my head who would use EE now.
Wild Strike, Elemental Hit,
Yeah.
Trinity, Ranger Trinity builds that
Wouldn't
can't get exposure easy, but cycle through different elements.
wouldn't
That's
Void
ridiculous.
Forge characters use it too?
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
do a
Void
Void
Forge
Forge
or
because it picks a
the Prism, Doom Prism glow
no,
or whatever.
because Doomfletch Prism, you hit with all
All elements. That's what it is. That's what it
ailments,
is.
so
Okay,
you would
couldn't remember.
the downside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You would be raising
Resistances.
the
Gotcha,
resistance.
gotcha.
So why did they make that change, elemental equilibrium? Because they made just a bunch of ailment changes in general, or because they are buffing ignite? Like, why did they feel the need to change elemental equilibrium?
I don't know. Maybe so you have a little bit more unconditional damage because EE wasn't up all the time, right? And it was kind of a pain in the ass to do. I think a lot of people aren't really seeing. A lot of people are saying, cold dot's nerfed, the RF is nerfed, but I think they're really leaving out a big part of this, and that's we're getting like dot multi is getting introduced on amulets, so you can now get dot multi on amulets. Dot multi on jewels is being buffed by like 100%. Um, the base damages went up. And not only that, when you ran EE, you couldn't have flat of the damage type you wanted
Right,
on
not
your
flat dispels.
you couldn't have that. Now you
Yeah.
can.
Right.
And there's a lot that people I think are leaving out. That new dot multi from Delirium on rings, the dot multi increase on gloves, uh, generic dot multi on jewels. There's a lot more to this than I think a lot of people are really looking at. And
Right.
I've heard several different I'm not like I don't play a lot of cold dot builds, so I can only kind of go off of what I see and what I know. I think your most damn well elemental overload you're not gonna be able to use with cold dot because it's not an ailment. Cold dot is not an ailment, right? You
Right.
can have an ailment, but it's not an elemental ailment that does damage. Ignite you can use elemental overload with.
Overload or equilibrium?
I switched gears on and I went to elemental overload for a second. I know you asked about elemental equilibrium, but to answer your question initially, I don't know. I'm not
Hmm.
I can't say exactly why they felt the need to do it,
Right.
but I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people are making it out to really be. Because and then not only that, you'd have to path to there too, right? So if you weren't going anywhere near that side of the tree, now you
Right.
have extra passive points that you can invest elsewhere.
Yeah, I noticed it was mainly a
That is true.
witch thing.
Hey.
Like, I usually always took it on witches, but that's about it.
But it's always been a pain in the ass from like in my eyes to try to keep up and make sure you don't have any flat dispels of that damage type on your weapon or on your jewelry because then it ruins it.
Hey.
And I heard Lighty say without the dot stuff on gear and jewels,
Yeah.
it's a 4% nerf in his eyes. On the other hand, Shack Central said it's about a 30% nerf. And I think that's the thing to keep in mind too is that when you're listening to these other people that have
Yeah.
played these builds, there's so many variables.
Yep.
What's the gear set looking like? What's your passive tree looking like? What notables do you take? What keystones do you take? What's like there's a lot of stuff to like factor in here that it's hard to just say blanket nerf, blanket buff.
Me too.
Hmm.
It's very interesting. What's next on the list? Tell me about it.
After ailments,
Flasks.
flasks.
Mm-hmm.
Utility flasks are sustainable with enough character damage and speed, but there aren't easy ways to sustain utility flasks for less powerful characters. That goes into what we talked about earlier with increasing the duration of flasks. That there's just a blanket increase of duration.
More modifiers, more tiers.
More tiers of
More
it. Yep.
tiers. I
So higher level flask will be a little bit more in demand. They'll be a little bit harder to roll with your standard alts,
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
especially if you want the max roll and with all the extra uh, stuff that they're like all the extra mods they're putting in. I mean, there's
Gonna
not
be a
that
lot
many
more to
more
look at.
mods, I guess, but you have like reduced effective shock, reduced effective curses, reduced effective chill, reduced
I
well, you have
don't understand the way they do numbers. 12 to 14%. Yeah,
Just like
like
you were talking about the Quicksilver nerf.
the 8. Yeah,
What's
the
the numbers, dude?
8%. Well, it used to be 8%, which is a fucking odd number. Why not make it 10? Why not, I just I don't get that. 12 to
I don't know.
14, why not 15? You make it a
That'd be
nice
something if we ever got a chance you could ask. Where do they get these numbers from? You ever
a
got a
nice
chance to in
number
the
to
future?
look at.
we're getting a lot of like extra charges though. Like 32 to 35 the max charges.
Yeah, sustainability,
Um
that's really good.
like some of the top tier modifiers do look really good.
50%
130%
increase
increase
charge
recovery on
recovery.
low life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
H,
66% charge recovery.
H, you better cut that shit out, dog.
Gain 7 charges when you are hit by an enemy.
Sure.
8's even, but it's not a nice number. It doesn't
17% increase attack speed during flask effect.
it's not a make sense number. Like when you just look at it randomly and you're like, oh, okay, 10%. That makes sense. 15%,
One
20%.
thing I'm kind of upset is the fact that warding really doesn't exist still. But there is reduced curse effect and a
On
large amount of it.
flasks?
Yeah, reduced. There's 65% reduced effective curses on you during flash effect. But warding is still just remove a curse on use.
Right.
Yeah.
And then some of the other cool stuff is like hinder nearby enemies for 40% movement speed for 4 seconds while used on not on full mana or on full life. Maim immunity, hinder immunity, which, some people may not care about, but I can't stand when I get maimed and then I get slowed down by 30%.
Hinder. I notice hinder more than I notice maim.
I can't remember the last time I've been maimed. Who maims you?
You
in
get
the
maimed
game?
all the time in Act 10. Those guys in
Is
the city square type thing, they maim you like crazy. The guys that throw the nets,
I've never noticed.
That's slow.
it's a
Yeah.
maim. In the
Yeah.
Ravage Square, you'll get a red thing up in the top corner, which you're
I've
maimed.
noticed I've noticed the bleed, which is pierce. I've noticed
Mm.
being pierced. The one that's not corrupting blood but still makes you bleed. What's the name for that one?
Puncture. That's what you're talking
Punctured. I've noticed punctured. Yeah.
Yeah, but it bleeds you though. Yeah.
about. Yeah, bleeds though.
Yeah, but it's not corrupting blood. But it's
Sure.
the other bleed.
It's a normal bleed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Puncture is what he's
That's another
referring to.
thing too. That's really cool is the fact that now you can get. And this kind of goes into the defenses a little bit, but moving while bleeding doesn't cause you to take extra damage. Is now a craft that you can craft on shields.
Mm.
It used to be a hunter only mod or a subterranean mod.
Kind of surprised that it's not on boots. You can't craft it on
Yeah,
boots.
it's only unique. I've only seen him that kind of modifier on like a unique pair of boots.
Yeah,
Bleeding,
Death's Door.
not affected by bleeding. Yeah, and the other ones.
But it's
Then
like,
there's
But
some,
that's different.
they
it's
decided
different.
to put the craft on a shield instead of boots. It's just philosophically weird to me, as
It's
they like
also
to
on
use
a
that word so much.
It's also on a Pantheon, if I remember correctly. Um, you have chance to take no extra damage from bleed while moving on shield, but then you have on boot up to 60% chance to avoid bleeding. And then your Pantheon, I believe there's another one, if I can find it, that does the same thing. Causes you to, yeah. Soul of Ralakesh no longer grants 25% chance to avoid bleeding. It instead grants moving while bleeding doesn't cause you to take extra damage, which is a minor node. And yeah, boots are very crowded. You already want to
Yeah.
put your ailment stuff on it anyway, so
Yeah.
it's the only
Um,
other thing besides shield and chest you can get
have you
straight up ailment.
have you guys ever enjoyed using enkindling orbs, or do you just say fuck it? It's not worth the drawback for me.
Enkindling orbs?
Yeah,
Yeah. So what I did this league is I
Go ahead.
made a full set of like bossing flasks
bossing enkindling. Okay.
because you don't if there's no ads to refill your flasks anyway, it doesn't matter. You can get an uber strong set of bossing flasks that you just switch out before you go in and or open up the portal or if you fight a conqueror or a Cirrus, like you're not gaining flash charges anyway. So there's really no downside and there's only big upside and you get increased effect or extra charges or a bunch of extra duration.
What do you aim for? What? Oh, does
It
it just
depends what
depends on
it's
the
for.
flask?
Yeah, it depends what flask it is and what I hit, if I feel good about it or not.
Hmm.
Like Veritania, I had a sapphire flask that can't be frozen, and it ended up rolling like increased duration. So I had an 11-second sapphire.
That's
I was like,
nice.
okay, that's good. Or you have like a chaos flat, an amethyst with can't be poisoned for hunter, and I think I rolled like reduced charges because it's a 35 of 65, so you only get one use, or max charges, so you can use it more than once. So that's what I usually use enkindling orbs on.
Okay.
And the instilling orbs, I haven't really gotten into like the instilling orbs. I like the enkindling orbs a lot better, but that's just me
Yeah, I've
because I'm
never.
still pressing my flasks a lot.
Yep, same here.
Right.
I did on my EDC trickster. I did put, but he was CI, and I tried not to. So I had like a freeze flask, a bleed flask, an ignite flask, and a shock flask, and they all had like use when bled or use
Mm-hmm.
when frozen. And I really tried just to not hit them,
But you
which is
still ended
hard.
up hitting them.
Yeah, mm,
It
it's really hard
wasn't
to do.
wasn't that their wasn't that their goal in changing flasks, that they didn't want people to just be, popsicle sticking flasks all the time, so
Yeah,
they.
but think about it like this though, like when you've been playing this way for 8 years, do you think you're gonna like break that muscle memory that just happens automatically? It's not like I think about it. It's not like I think, "Oh, I should use my flask." My hands just do it. And when I think, "Don't do it," it does it more for some reason. So, you think that one patch is gonna break 8 years worth of muscle memory. And I know
Nah.
that I'm on the extreme side of that, that not everybody has been doing it for as long.
Yeah, so they just wanted. They really wanted the. I'm trying to. I always try to get inside their head of why they're making these changes. So they really just wanted the distinction between reactive and proactive flasking.
Yep.
That was a big part, yeah, that they said,
Yeah.
because it didn't make a lot of sense to put proactive flasks or proactive mods on utility flasks because that doesn't make sense. Like, why are you waiting? Like, utility flasks are usually something you want to hit before the event happens, not after.
Right.
But immunity can still roll on jade and granite flasks.
Hmm So if you want that, and like there's 2 different kinds of immunities now, which I said earlier. You have your blanket immunity with the decreased duration or less duration. That just gives you the old style immunity. So if you press it, you're just immune. It doesn't matter if you were frozen when you use the flask or not. You'll get it. Or you can have it to where it is reactive and you get up to 17 seconds of that immunity.
It's such a long time. I'm really surprised that they did that.
Comes with a catch though, right? Like you have to be frozen and then hit your flask to get that. Which I normally run anti-freeze on my life flask anyway. Or
What do you?
anti-bleed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you run anti-bleed on?
Usually both. I'll use 2 life flasks until I'm able to not run a freeze flask, hopefully. In some way, shape, or form. And they also changed the aquamarine flask this league
I didn't see
to
that.
be less effect of freezes. So it basically counters your freeze and it doesn't have to be reactive.
Right.
You just get 60% less effective freeze, which is basically like a chill.
Yeah.
So you can still react, move, attack, do things, and then you could flask effect it.
All right. Well, what else we got? More mods on belts. More things that belts can roll. Up to 33% increased flash duration. Up to 40% increased flash charges gained, which I guess is good. I don't know. I've never seen high demand for belts with any of these mods on them.
They help though.
Sure.
If you roll it and it has it, like I don't think it's something that you're gonna actively seek out. But if you get a nice belt with some good life and a little bit of res and, you know, 30% increased flash duration or reduced charges used, especially this league.
I think
I think
those are
I
all
think a lot of people
suffixes, though. Those
a
are
lot
all
of people put bleeds on their
suffixes.
flasks.
And a lot of people put what on their flasks?
Bleeds, what Dad was talking about. A lot of people do opt out and put bleeds. It's super important. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think that's what he was saying. He was saying he always puts bleed
So
on he always puts staunching on his life flask in
yeah,
particular.
yeah. So I'm agreeing with him.
Hmm. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah,
balance
is
changes.
there anything
A
we've
crap
missed
ton.
with flask ailments?
Mm-hmm.
Nailed the biggest part that
I
most
just
people care about.
don't. I'm not gonna know until I play it. It's just too much. Too much information.
Honestly, though, I think like with the moving while bleeding doesn't make you or cause you to take extra damage, and if you can get a CB immune jewel, I think you probably can get away without having bleed on your flasks. Because it's not really the bleed that kills you. If you get bled and you just stand still, you hardly feel it.
Right?
It's stacks of corrupting blood and then moving while you're bled.
Well, it depends what build you are. You're gonna feel it if you're
I
vol
get it, bro.
packed or something like that.
Yeah, but how many builds are vol packed right now?
Not anymore.
Like a couple slayers, maybe.
Yeah.
That's pretty much that's all you're gonna do.
So no increased bleed while moving, is that like just a blanket change now, or are you still talking about the mod that can roll on shields?
It's also on a Pantheon.
Ralakesh.
Soul of Ralakesh no longer
Okay.
grants 25% chance to avoid bleeding. Instead, now grants moving while bleeding doesn't cause you to take extra damage,
Is that
which
a
is a minor.
Yeah, it's a minor pantheon. Is that unlocked through the stories or is it unlocked through a map boss?
All of the everything is unlocked through the
Through a map boss or through the story?
it's the minor one that you get.
So you
It's
get it
Relic.
through the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what Solar Relic Cache gives 25% reduced physical damage over time taken while moving and 25% chance to avoid bleeding in the story.
Okay.
The upgraded one, its corrupting blood cannot be inflicted on you if you have at least 5 corrupting bloods on you.
That was my question. Yeah. My question was
Same with the Brine King.
do you get it automatically, you know? Or do you have to use a divine vessel, which they don't those things are so rare.
They are. Why are they so rare?
Cuz GGG.
Cause GGG.
Yeah.
They're like as rare as Exalts, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really bad. And
But there's a recipe for them now.
yeah, with a divine orb.
Divine Orb.
With a divine orb, dude.
Well, divines
What is
aren't
it?
as rare as Exalt.
5 flasks and a divine orb, right?
Mm-hmm. And you get 5 divine vessels back.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want your pantheons upgraded and you have a divine, then
Yep.
why not?
Yeah.
Divines aren't as rare.
Pantheon got a lot better with these changes. That's something I'm happy about.
That it did. For
They
sure.
really did, yeah. There's a lot of really good stuff in the pantheons now. Now, your Cannot Be Frozen from Brine King, you'll have to upgrade.
Yeah.
But still, that's still really good. Then you have Tempest Shield being a reservation now. And
That's
giving you
interesting.
Just weird.
more block, more spell block, and giving you shock effect. Where I was talking to people the other day, and I really hope that it's just, I think it was me and Balar talking about it. Really hope that it's just blanket block, that you don't have to be having a shield since it's a reservation now, and you'll be 25, you'll have to reserve 25% of your mana. It just give you block, because now, if that's the case, you could run it with things like a staff or rear guard bow build,
Yeah, that'd be
Oh, just
interesting.
have base. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
and just have and be shock immune. So, like, if you run like a chieftain, you run a chieftain that's already
You're
ignite immune.
already ignite immune. Yeah.
You run um Tempest Shield, and then you use the Brine King. There you go. You
Yep.
freeze, ignite, and shock immune
All 3 of them.
for a little bit of investment, but it still leaves room for other layering of either defenses or offenses.
Hmm.
That's
So
interesting.
I was
kind of
I was thinking about it on like
us.
a rear guard build.
Yeah, we'll see. Kind of segues us into defenses.
Yeah, the Pantheon changes I'm excited about. That's for sure.
The
For sure.
defenses as a whole, I think for a big portion of the player base is now way better. Evasion getting buffed basically by 100%.
Yeah.
Armor getting buffed by 100%. Spell suppression being able to be used.
Which
Now
I
they
would
did
love
remove.
more information about that. Like, where is it going to be on the tree? How much is it going to be on the tree?
Well, it's also on gear too. You can roll up to what, like 60% on a shield.
I
And
thought
then
that's
some,
only intelligence based shields. Am I wrong on
Spell
that?
suppression. Hmm.
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Spell suppression will be found on various passive skills in the evasion areas of the passive skill tree. The evasion wheel at the center of the passive skill tree no longer provides accuracy, but provides a combo of evasion and chance to suppress spells instead. New suffix modifiers have been added to all evasion armors that can roll modifiers that grant chance to suppress spell damage.
Okay, gotcha.
Body armors and shields in particular can roll larger values of these modifiers. New keystone, called Magebane. Dexterity provides no inherent bonus to evasion rating. You gain 1% chance to suppress spell damage per 15 dex.
That's interesting. I wonder where that's going to be.
It'll be over by the ranger.
Oh yeah.
It says in the center of the tree. Probably on the ranger
so
side
right
of the center of the tree.
Yeah. Scion
I mean,
Ranger area.
it says pretty much a lot of where this stuff will be. So evasion's more effective against attacks. Dodge is going away.
Yeah.
No more attack dodge at all. You can still roll into spell dodge if you choose with acrobatics, which is being changed to convert spell suppression to spell block if you still want to have spell block.
Right.
I'm sorry, spell dodge. Sorry. But I think for the general everyday player, you can now have evasion, armor, block, spell suppression with no downsides. There's no penalty
Yeah.
from taking a lot of dodge. So you'll have physical mitigation, or you can have physical mitigation. You can have spell mitigation and still chance to evade and block. Like, what's not to like about this?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
pretty
know.
cool.
There's a lot of
The-
people that were upset about it. Believe it or not.
People seem to think entropy is a bad thing.
And wait, entropy the node or
Huh? Entropy that evasion works on.
okay.
We're talking about here. Evasion has an inbuilt mechanic called entropy that basically is a counter. It takes a count of how many things you've evaded. Like evasion isn't random like dodge is. Dodge is true random. Evasion works on entropy.
Right.
Entropy basically guarantees that you won't take a string of hits, like 3, 4 hits in a row, if you're unlucky. Or dodge, even if you had 75% chance to dodge, you could still take a string of hits, and they could be big hits.
Yeah.
You know, it's effectively how why Wind Dancer works well with evasion, because if you take a hit, chances are you're not gonna get hit right after that. For one, it
Man,
increases your evasion.
Kintsugi too.
And what they're changing how that's getting changed anyway, not Nitsugi, but Wind Dancer. So Nitsugi will still be the same, but Wind Dancer is changing to not just give you blanket less uh, damage taken. Wind Dancer is being changed to improve high invasion builds rather than reducing evade chance, but making it riskier if you're not evading attacks a lot. And now gives less attack damage if you haven't been hit recently by an attack, and more evasion rating and more attack damage taken if you have been hit. So it's better for evasion characters that have high evasion, but bad for characters that don't, basically, that are being hit a lot.
That's
Has
cool.
no interaction with spells now.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the only people that would get upset about that is people that don't understand.
I have a question about that. So if I dodge with dodge instead of evasion, does that dodge count toward entropy?
No.
There's no dodge. And
Damn.
it didn't before, no.
You're talking about spell dodge though, right?
I'm just asking a question from the
But
chat.
no, it doesn't. No. Dodge doesn't have entropy.
Yeah.
Just evasion. I'm talking about the idea that what we're moving to will be a nerf.
Spells can't be evaded.
Yeah.
And attack dodge is going away.
Is going away.
But in the past, no, it wouldn't.
Hmm.
It doesn't. No. Evasion's entropy doesn't have anything to do with dodge. They're not counted as one and the same. Dodge does not have entropy. If you dodge, you dodge.
Dude, just dodge. Like,
So that's, I think there are cases where I think it can technically probably be a nerf depending on where you look at it. But in most cases, I'd say 95% of the cases, it's going to be a straight ahead buff if you build into these mechanics correctly. You got to look at it like this. If you were capped dodge and spell dodge and had a little bit of evasion, right? You have 75% chance to just take no damage at all, right? If instead of that and taking 100% of the damage 25% of the time, and that 100% of the damage could be a one shot that kills you, or you can take 50% of the damage 50% of the time. What do you think is better? Considering people have been yelling for ages about spike damage. This will
right?
make one shots less prevalent and make you
Mhm.
able to kind of react to taking damage instead of things just coming in and going boom and you're dead. And you're like, "What killed me?" Well, you didn't dodge and your HP went to 0. Dodge is
It
great till it
steals.
ain't.
That's true. Yeah, that's why I didn't like dodge characters. I thought it felt really bad because when you got hit, you got destroyed.
Yeah,
Yep.
same.
Yep. There was no like extra layers behind it. Like, yeah, it felt good, and then when it doesn't feel good, you know it because you're pretty much dead at that point.
So something I had a very big question about that I didn't understand was versatile combatant. So it's
Read
on
it
the versatile
so
combatant
people
is
know.
now a keystone passive on the passive skill tree. It grants plus 2% chance to block spell damage for each 1% over-capped chance to block attack damage.
Oh, they took that off a gladiator,
Yes.
so
Yeah,
what's it
but
being
it's
replaced with?
changed. It's being changed.
Okay, so what's
The
gladiator getting? Do we
the
know?
the
I haven't
part
even
I
caught that
don't
read that far.
understand is where they say over-capped, because they say it also grants negative 25% maximum chance to block attack damage
Stamps.
So, all right.
and negative 25% maximum chance to block spell damage. This means that if you have a 75% chance to block attack damage,
Mm-hmm.
this keystone passive grants you 50% chance to block attack damage, as well as 50% chance to block spell damage.
Right. So your cap would become 50 and your over cap would be 25. If you took that note, if you have 75% chance to block attacks and you took that note, it takes 25% of your max block and brings it down to 50. Then your over cap would be 25, to which you times that by 2,
Hmm.
and that would go to your spell block.
Okay.
Versatile combatant on the gladiator ascendancy, we don't know exactly, but they said that they're experimenting with
Being
a
lucky.
a thing about lucky attack block. They haven't said anything about spell block, but we don't know exactly what it's going to be. And if it ends up being lucky, then you basically don't lose. I mean, you would lose 25% spell block. But even if it's not, even if you just take versatile combatant, 50/50 block is still really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
Like
is.
that's especially with, the fact that you can there's increasing armor effect. They're putting more max res in on that side of the tree. You can, evasion is doubly as strong. And if they do make lucky attack block, then it's like
I'm definitely happy about
Really
the
good.
armor and evasion changes, because now I don't feel like I'm doing something useless when I look for slink gloves or a very high
evasion
defense
based.
base. Yeah, high
Yeah.
defense base. Yeah, because like you'll see so many times people like an evasion character will be using fucking yes, gloves. And I'm like, why are you doing that? They're like, because it doesn't matter. You know? So doubling the effect of this feels great.
And Ghost Dance will be on the tree as well.
You're the only one I know that's been using that. I have no idea how it feels.
A lot of people use Ghost Dance.
Every
Yeah, but I
trickster
don't-
uses Ghost Dance.
Like I said,
So
you're
far.
the only one I know that's been using that. I don't know anybody else that plays a trickster, especially not this league.
I mean, I see what he's saying.
So, you know, I don't know how that feels.
Asper Andy.
Feels
Yeah,
great.
Ghost Dance
If
is
you're
awesome.
and then the energy shield recharge is also getting a massive buff.
Yeah.
Yup.
So
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff I'm interested in.
evasion, energy shield, spell
Block.
suppression, block.
Yep.
They're adding new spell block to the top side of the tree. Like I think
I hope
when
so.
people make like generic videos, like Pleather saying in chat about some people doing the math on it, and we lose half of our HP. Maybe in certain situations that might be true, not accounting for a lot of other things. But I feel like a lot of stuff gets left out of those equations to fit their narrative. Now, I haven't
Right.
exactly seen that video, so I can't exactly speak of it.
Which video are you talking about?
I
Oh,
can only
Firegrass?
go off of what I see in these changes that are being presented to me.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you make a big wave and make a lot of noise about something, your video gets a lot of views. So
True. Or probably block too. Is block, like, it's block being
course.
counted into that equation because most dodge builds didn't take block. Now
Right.
you can with no penalty. You can build a really good evasion energy shield build with spell suppression. You can build a really good armor evasion block
Oof.
spell suppression build. Like there's so many different avenues you can go now instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm just going to go dodge." Or I'm
Right.
just gonna go block.
I'm just gonna go block.
You
'Cause that's
can
all it
now
was.
you can now like pick and choose like what are you most scared of? Are you most scared of elemental? We'll scale some max res and some evasion, spell
Oh,
suppression.
what you pulled up, Stark? What is this?
That's the Zana mods.
Oh,
Zana mods
nice, yeah.
just
Zana mods.
literally just came out. There's no delirium.
Of course they're not. We had delirium on this one.
Yeah, I think
They
that's
don't usually do it twice in a row.
That's what's up.
Where's it at? Let's see it.
Well, would you look at that?
Broccoli's post just put it up, and it's on
Sharky is making an almost unkillable build for his Hearthstone Toxic Rain champ. I think seriously, interested in see what he does. Of course.
Why'd you time Hadrian out?
I didn't. Nightbot did.
Why?
Because Reddit.com isn't whitelisted.
Oh.
I got to do that.
So what are I can't find it, and if I bring it up on the stream computer, it's gonna give
So
it
it's
a view.
Breach 2 Chaos, Essence 3 Chaos, Bloodlines 3 Chaos, Ambush 4 Chaos, Beyond 5 Chaos, which is nice. It's always good to have Beyond. Legion.
I'd rather have Bloodlines
I'd
than
rather
Beyond.
Bloodlines. Yeah, I'm about to say. Beyond is rippy.
Legion 6 Chaos, Blight 8 Chaos.
Is there 8 there? Or yeah, 8. 1, 2,
there's 8
3,
there.
4. So Legion. Did you say Ambush is 5 Chaos?
4.
What's the one before Legion? Oh, Beyond.
Yeah.
So Beyond Bloodlines is really good for XP and map drops. Like if you put Bloodlines on a map, especially if the map itself rolls Bloodlines and you get double Bloodlines, you're getting really good XP and like you're almost guaranteed to drop a few maps. You don't have map sustain, run Bloodlines on your maps. You'll have map sustain.
Easy clap.
So Nemesis isn't
agree.
craftable on the device anymore? No, it's not on there. But who cares, really? Like, Nemesis isn't that great.
Post his pace bin? Hmm.
That's pretty cool then.
Let's see. So that block question, it's because the math is really not even.
What are you not understanding? How isn't it even?
So if you have 100 block and you take the keystone, which puts your block down to 75 block, what's the over cap?
But your max would be 50. So your overcap would be 50.
Okay. So then that would be how much spell block with that keystone?
Would where's let me find the thing.
See what I'm saying?
Does it say that it caps your spell block at 50?
I don't see how that would be possible.
What do you mean?
I
They're
don't
doing
see
it to attack block.
Nemesis
It
3
says, does it
Hmm.
not say that it says it brings your attack block cap to 50, minus 25 to maximum chance to block, right?
Right?
So what's over 50 is 50. So then that would be,
That would be your cap, be your overcap.
but that's the same exact as having 75's attack block.
Yeah, so then don't scale it then. There's no need to scale it past 75 then. It's like scaling your max res past 90.
Yeah, there's no need.
Interesting. Okay.
Here. Also grants minus 25 maximum chance to block attack damage and minus 25 maximum chance to block spell damage. So your cap is 50. So
Okay.
if you have over 75, you're just uselessly scaling something that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Unless you are a gladiator and you take the extra maximum chance to block nodes, or you're using like an anvil, then you would be at, whatever those numbers. It's +3 on an anvil, and what is it on gladiator? 8? 4? Let me find it.
Getting 75 attack block
It's
is easier than
4.
the part that trees 50 spell block
4.
is almost impossible to get. I agree.
Not only that, but like
It's tough.
your attack and spell block are both going up on shields. So you can roll up to +16
Yeah, that's nice.
attack block on your shield. So if you have a 26% block shield and you roll 16, you have 42 block on your shield
42.
by itself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's +4 on violent retaliation to your maximum chance to block attack damage. And then if you were wearing an anvil, you would be at +3. So you could technically get that to 57. Yeah, we just looked at it.
No heist.
No heists.
Yeah, but heist is also in, and hopefully they will just combine all the Atlas passives into the new.
That's what they said they're gonna do, yeah.
That's good.
So,
So
yeah, you'll still have it.
heist is in a Atlas passive tree, so you can always get.
No expedition. We
Yeah.
never get a thing like our current league being expedition. We don't normally get that league on a map device very next league. I think it's happened like once or twice maybe, but it doesn't happen often. And we still don't know if expedition is going core or not this league.
I'm sure it will.
They haven't said anything about it at all. They have said that it will eventually be going core,
Yeah.
and when it does go core, your currency will be auto pickup and account bound. But they haven't. Usually around this time, they'll give us a post saying, expedition as a league mechanic, not the league itself, we feel was a success. We really like the way the league mechanic is. However, we want to do some tweaks before we add it to the core of the game. Or this is good as soon as it goes. Like Ritual. Ritual went right in, right?
Yep.
It went right into the core game the next league.
Yeah, that was pretty easy to implement. And things like Breach went into the core game.
Metamorph, things like that. Yeah. So, and we usually get a post saying whether or not it's going in or not. And we haven't gotten that. So maybe it'll come in the announcement. So yeah, defenses as a whole, I think.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with that.
Will be.
I'm excited
really
to
good.
play. Excited to test it out in the
like
game.
The energy shield buffs, the recharge buffs, bases, like the the lucky. I can't remember what the thing is called.
The orb.
The lucky bases.
Lucky
well, you don't need an
bases.
orb to roll it. They're gonna drop inherently.
From 0
Base
to
types are now
20%.
from 0 to 10.
Yeah.
Higher base defense with an inbuilt property. This means that all base types can be better than they currently are, and armor base types aren't homogeneous anymore. Energy shield can range from 0 to 20.
Yeah. I wonder,
So you can have a
does that mean hybrid energy shield bases get 20% more ES on them, or just ES base types? I don't know if that applies to hybrid as well.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I would think that it would get to 20%, but I don't know for sure. Keep in mind that this is only going toward the base stats. That doesn't mean if you roll T1 ES and T1 that it's also going to scale that mod by 20%. It's going to scale the base stats by 20, which can be affected by quality.
But didn't our Hillock quality go away for that?
No.
Oh, so we still have a 28% quality.
You can get to 30% with Hillock, but the crafting bench suffix quality craft is going away.
Oh. Why is that?
Because they said it was because the energy shield bases relied too heavily on it. So instead, they're giving the energy shield 0 to 20 to make up for it, basically.
Oh, I see.
Which will basically make fusing a little bit harder.
Yep.
But one of the theories I have on that crangled fusing orb that's in the inventory on the teaser, the red fusing orb, is that that fusing kind of
crangled.
It assumes that your armor or whatever you're linking has like plus 15 to quality. Whatever the quality is, it'll add quality to it. It'll assume that it'll act as if that armor has 18% increased quality. Sorry.
We'll see.
Okay.
That's a
interesting
an idea that I had about that.
It adds one of your socketed gems as an implicit. I don't know what to think.
I don't think it's gonna 6 link and Vol at the same time either, though. And I don't think it's gonna do that either.
You don't think it's
Because
anything with 6 link
there's
again?
8. He has 8 of them in his inventory.
Oh,
You
yeah,
think
that's
it's gonna
true.
be that easy to do
get 6
something
links?
like that?
Nah. Hell no.
Yeah, I don't.
I still
don't
think it
think
might
so.
be. I still stick to my guns, even though Deedledo thinks it's ridiculous sounding, but I still think it might be like the start of them fading out into the sunset as we kind of transition to getting closer to the date.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
We'll
I don't
see.
think so.
That's 2 against 1 there. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not gonna phase something out by adding the same thing in a different way.
It's not adding the same thing every way. That just what it's saying is this league could be like the start of like them being like being something different and like kind of like I said, just like eventually transitioning and it could grow on something in the next expansion. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm
But
just
what
throwing it out
does
there.
it
Just a
do? What
wild,
is it
just
then?
a I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I just think it's like close. Like I said, we've already talked about it. I think it's closer than what we think it is. PoE2, and they already getting rid of it. They're not just going to up and leave it. Like they might just have like some kind of like build up of lore or whatever or like content for us to
I think
not just
so.
cold turkey somebody fusings. You know what I mean? Like we might just gradually
No, because
turn into something else. You know what I mean? We'll see.
jewelers are gonna turn into fusing.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
Because
think
you'll
they
still have
But
to
you, but
have your
you don't fusings can't just transition to something else. I mean, stuff changes over time, right? I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. I'm just saying. I stick to my guns. I just want to see something wild and wacky. I just want to be different than everybody else. That's all.
jeweler's
That
orb
was
that
my
works
first
like
theory.
fated connections. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a thing either, and it doesn't look like
What do you
anything
say?
like a jeweler. It looks like a fusing.
It looks
I
like a
don't.
fusing.
I think they
I think
just
it's going to be some kind of like additional like enchanted fusing that we're going to be able to do something different with. But he has 8 of them, so it's not going to be like 6 links
they
because that's a lot
don't
of damn 6 links. What's up?
they just don't have a habit of phasing out things before they add something. They have a habit of adding something and then phasing out other things, but not the
Well,
reverse.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can see that.
I don't think it has anything to do with that at all.
We'll see. I'm gonna keep my eye on it because I think it's cool to like theorize that. I do.
Well, we'll find out Thursday, right?
Yeah,
2
we
days
do.
from now.
Find
Should.
out in
Yeah.
about 24 hours, a little bit more than that, but yeah,
No, it's like it's like
28
December
hours.
like 20,
24.
20 some hours. Yeah,
All right, so you got anything else about the fences?
No, I think we've
I'm
covered
happy about
everything.
them.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Probably
Yep.
Link's corrupted gear. That could be a thing. Like it works as a fusing uh on corrupted armor.
So okay, well, hold on then. Hold on a second. If who just said that? Hold on. Corrupted gear, frown coat. Okay, so
Frowncoat.
frown. That sparks an idea before we leave this conversation. In if it's potential like a currency for like like chaos orbs. We got like I don't know what the fuck you call them, but like fucking corrupted fusings, right? What if that was
Kringled
something that
fusings.
what if that was the kind of stuff we get since Deedle commented on it looking like Katava and Katava is related to corruption and yada 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 stuff. What if that like phase that we saw, like where you hit the button and eventually we turn into like some other dimension or whatever, it like maybe enabled us to do something kind of like what we saw in like Tempest League, where like you had like an open window of like a certain amount of time to get stuff done, and all the loot was like corrupted or something like that. I don't know. That to
I
me,
said the same thing. What if it has
it,
different base types in this alternate realm, and
it
it has different currency types
and
too,
you had a certain amount of time to get in and get out of that realm with the base types that you wanted in like a temporary amount of time.
and it rolls different modifiers?
Doesn't that sound like something we've had though? Do you think they would do that?
Yes.
Yeah, they
That's what I'm saying.
recycle things all the
Yes.
time.
100% yes.
Oh,
How many
I don't think
times
that's
have
what
they
it is, though.
you don't
how
think
many
so?
I
Okay.
don't
I mean,
know.
that's a pretty cool idea for code. It is.
how many times have they done a breach league?
I think that
That's
Frown
not
might be onto
breach.
something with that, though. Like, it could be used. I could see that being a
On corrupted
possibility.
items?
That
Yeah.
corrupted, like, if you find a chest that's corrupted, then you're like, damn, I gotta
Corrupted
pay
job instead of heists.
1,500. I gotta pay 1,500 fusings plus 1,500 vol orbs to do this, or I can have 100 of these and it'll link. It'll ignore the corruption if I have this certain type of fusing.
That's interesting. I think there's more to that, but yeah, that's actually not a bad concept. I really think there's more to the league, but yeah, it's interesting. Frown, you're onto something. You're right. That's actually a pretty neat idea.
So then dot changes. Dot changes auras and curses then.
We here? That
I
changes.
dot changes. We kind of touched on dots a little bit earlier with Ignite and cold dot and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
RF. We haven't really went over auras too much. Reservation is going to be changed from reduced reservation to reservation efficiency. And it's basically kind of like the same, except it has diminishing returns. So if you have 100% reservation efficiency, you will now have 50% reduced reservation. If you have 200%, it you don't get 0%. It goes to um 20 5. If you have 300%, it goes to like 16. My numbers may be off a little bit, but that's the general idea. It's like 1.5 basically.
Right.
Um, and that's basically the math for it. And they're also moving aura effect and curse effect from mediums to smalls and introducing new notables that specifically scale uh reservation efficiency for one aura. So you could get like hatred, 60% hatred reservation efficiency, and then get, your helm that says what would it be, 30% reservation efficiency of hatred, and you would have 90% on that one aura. And then you can still get it on 2% on jewels. They're gonna be on different gear. It'll still be on the tree. So I think as a whole, this will mean that your average character will be able to at least fit in an extra 50% aura, maybe even two, depending on how much they scale it, or if they have uniques that
Right.
also can
So
scale.
they're putting in efficiency on the tree, number one.
Yeah.
Well, it'll replace our current like sovereignty
Okay.
or champion of the cause,
And then
because
they're okay. So okay, that makes sense. And then they're also having efficiency for each specific aura as a mod to roll on gear.
no
Okay.
enchants,
Okay.
lab enchants.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Currently now you have hatred has 15% reduced
Gotcha.
reservation,
That makes sense.
which will change to 30% reservation efficiency of hatred.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then on small jewels that will be aura jewels now instead of the mediums,
Yeah.
they'll have specific mods that could have 60% uh reservation efficiency of hatred or zealotry or
Gotcha.
things like that, 50%. And then I think they said um somewhere else. I need to find it. It's in the next one.
Well, I don't think any of us have ever played Norabot, right?
I
No,
have.
I've played Aura Stacker before though.
I've done
And Aura
Orbot.
Stackers are kind of
I don't think there's any
pretty
kind
shitty
of
spot.
at it.
They're all like, yeah, they're not too
They're
people
dead.
that play Aura Stackers every league aren't too happy about that change because of the reservation and Aura effect. But to be fair, this shit was busted, dude. And they balanced auras and aura effect around aura stackers and aura bots. So your average player that just uses an aura or two on their regular gear, like now those auras can be stronger. You might be able to fit in an extra 50, maybe 50% can be stronger.
Adrian's so,
Exactly.
Adrian's so silly, dude.
I don't think that's gonna happen, Adrian.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get there.
They diminishing returns. They got that kicked in. Diminishing returns.
You would
I think
have
he's
to have
trolling.
like 400%.
Well, that's pretty self-explanatory then.
Yep.
Uh,
Now the rest of us can be stronger, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing for 99. I know I keep throwing
He
out
said, "You want to bet?
percentages.
You want to bet, dude? How much money you trying to bet, dude? You trying to bet?"
oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, but where are you gonna get? What are you gonna use life tap? You're gonna reserve all of your mana.
Yeah, what? And then be blood magic when you run
Life
4?
tab, baby. Life tab, baby.
You could run life tap, sure, but
Mm-hmm.
then past that, you have diminishing returns, right? And it's not at 100%.
It's not 100, yeah.
Well, yeah, it would be 100%.
What do you mean?
100% would make a 50% or 25%.
Yeah.
So you could run 4, but all your mana would be gone.
And then what? Enlighten on all of them? How are you gonna fit that in a 4 link? You can't. You gotta be 6 link. You gotta be some
You would have to use life.
stupid.
You would have to use life tap.
Yeah. Or use
Yeah,
some
you'd have to.
stupid dual 6 link build. Use a
Has
staff.
manas, dude.
Uh,
Use that big beefy two-handed axe, dude.
oh my god.
Or you just use life tap.
Yeah. No
Really
mana,
not
no potion needed.
that difficult. But yeah.
Anyway,
So auras are being changed. A lot of the reservation of auras are being changed to efficiency. Some of the uniques that grant efficiency are getting nerfed a bit, but some of them are pretty strong to begin with, so
Sure.
that kind of makes sense. Aura clusters are being changed. We went over this. Curses
yeah.
should be way stronger for your average person. If you're using, say, Lord of Drought, Blizzard Caller, Tempest Storm, Misery, Everlasting, Exploit, Weakness, which would be Flammability, Frostbite, uh, Conductivity, Despair, or Vulnerability, respectively, will now give 40% increased curse effect instead of 25. So that's a big jump up. And you can scale your curse effect even more because they kind of took care of curse bots as a whole. So that means, again, your average player who's just using one, maybe two curses will be able to scale that curse effect even higher.
Yep. That's nice.
%200% should be achievable. Yeah, you don't know that though, because we don't know exactly what's going to be on the tree and gear.
It's too early
And
to
sure,
tell.
maybe on one specific skill you can get that to 200% using like clusters and stuff and an enchant. But
Right.
200% blanket, just overall efficiency, I don't think it's going to be as easy as you think it's going to be.
Hmm. All right. So does it for curses. Seems great. Seems better.
Finding that balance.
Seems
That's
more
a good idea.
thought out.
Seems good. Yeah, I like the way that what they did to that. And I know a lot of people that, like I said, play or bots and parties
They're upset about it.
or
Yeah.
curse bots and parties or stackers aren't exactly.
They'll just do twice the amount now. Fine. Twice the amount of aura bots, twice the amount of curse bots.
Nah, I think it's 300% brings it. Wait, yeah, 16. Yeah, 16.6 is right because it's not just 1-to-1.
Actually, 10% efficient would bring it 50% down to 16.66.
So
Yeah, I hate math.
dot we kind of went over a little bit. I think Ignite is kind of what I'm most excited about coming into this patch. Like I probably like Ignite is really big on my radar for League start.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I was thinking like Burning Arrow Chieftain. Try to get a rear guard. I will be starting HCSSF again, so trying to get
Ooh.
a rear guard and building a block chieftain, running Tempest Shield for shock immunity and more block. We're already Ignite, and then running Brine King at some point. Probably start out with Purity of Elements because it'll just be it'll help with res, which will also help for gearing. I kind of want to get in and like test a few things out, but I want to do something with Ignite.
Just because I've never played an Inquisitor, does Inquisitor have something with Ignite? Or am I completely wrong on that?
Inquisitor? No.
No.
Okay.
It has
He's
nearby
crit based.
enemies take increased elemental damage.
He has like an aura. He has like a built-in like elemental weakness aura, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like elemental weakness, but
That's
not quite.
because people used to stack it like it. I mean, just
Augury
take
of
more damage. Yeah.
Penance is nearby enemies take 16% increase elemental damage. So you're basically dealing 16% more elemental
More
damage.
damage. Yeah.
I wonder how Flame Blast Hierophant would do.
Flame blast totems.
Yeah, Flame Blast Totems
Viable.
Hierophant. would
Yeah,
do
people
next
use them
league.
shits all the time.
I think the big things will be builds that don't really look like they'll be good for Ignite. Like, not Fireball, not Discharge, not Flame Blast, not Firestorm, Fire Burst, Hex Blast, Doom Blast. Things that are, like, maybe not on your radar, outside of the box.
Right?
Things that hit hard and you can scale with, being a chieftain or Avatar Fire or, damage conversion.
So
Earthquake.
when you do a burning arrow chieftain, how are you going to ignite them in the first place?
What?
How are you going to ignite if you're doing burning arrow?
Burning Arrow has an inbuilt ignite chance, right? 25% they're getting changed to. Where's that?
Oh, I see.
It
I
has
get you.
25% chance to ignite.
I thought they completely
Chieftain.
removed the ignite chance on
Chieftain
burning
has
arrow.
25% chance to ignite.
I see.
That's 50 right there. You can get chance to ignite on jewels. You have chance to ignite on the top part of the tree and the Breath of Flames. You have 20% on Breath of Flames, and then you have so
That's
that's
right.
70. Then you have
That's right. The new
5%.
elementalist. No, you know what? Makes me want to look up Scion again. I always have to do this. Whenever they do anything, I always have to
And then Combustion has chance to ignite.
look up Scion.
There's a bunch of things that give chance to ignite. You should be able to still effectively
You should be
build
able to
100% chance
easy.
to ignite
Yep.
without being
A,
and it doesn't. It
a failure.
Elementalist on the Scion it says
Yeah.
shocks from your hits always increase damage by 10%.
Elementalist on the Scion's poo poo.
Scion's poo poo to begin with there, buddy guy.
Yeah, and they like it where it's at too.
Well, if they made it much stronger, it would be super OP. It's either gonna be kind of where it is now and super niche, or everyone's gonna use it. We've had this. We've had that meta before where Scion was super OP and everybody ran Scion.
Yep. The ring that makes lightning ignite. There's a lot of ignite chance. Yeah, dude. There's a lot of ignite chance on a tree. Plenty of it, dude.
Flame burst spark.
Flame Burst Spark. Huh?
I don't know.
Hmm.
You said skills to look out for would be something like earthquake.
Yeah,
EQ?
something that hits
Earthquake
hard,
chance to ignite.
Yeah, to
super,
ignite.
super hard, and
I made one of those, Ignite Earthquake, before. It was okay. It did everything I wanted to do farming wise.
with the base damage to ignite, and
Can you
wonder
Earthquake
if-
with a sword?
earthquake
Can
with
you?
anything. I think.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know. Okay.
You can earthquake unarmed now.
That's kind of
too.
weird.
That's true. Yeah.
I wonder if fire trap ignites. Does it?
It doesn't. No.
Oop.
It puts burning ground down. The explosion can ignite the initial boom.
Oh,
The initial
explosive trap ignites though.
right? Because fire trap drops burning ground, but it also has a hit component when it first goes off, which I guess you could ignite with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you combine all this with the fact that you're getting a new dot modifier on ailments or on amulets, amulets. Just a global modifier doesn't have to be from a conqueror or anything like that. It's just a global damage over time multiplier suffix that rolls on amulets, going up to 26%.
No, don't.
26% dot multi on
Wow.
amulet. There's
That's ridiculous,
there's
dude.
5 tiers of global damage over time suffixes on weapons, going up to 26% on one-handers and 45% on two-handers. No, that's not what. Essence of Delirium no longer rolls hexes you inflict have +5 to maximum doom on rings, or +10 damage over time multiplier on amulets. Now it rolls 12 to 15 damage over time on rings. So we got all, and then jewels, fire, cold, physical, chaos damage over time multiplier on jewels are going from 6 to 8%, from 3 to 4. So 100% more damage on jewels. And there's a new global damage over time modifier that can roll on jewels at 4 to 6. So you can technically get, what is that, 14% of your chosen chaos, god damn it, your dot multi of choice on one jewel, technically. And jewels can now roll faster damage of ailments. So faster bleed, faster ignite, faster poison at a value of 4 to 6. To put that in perspective, burning brutality on the tree, which is a anoint that a lot of ignite builds take now, is 8% faster ignites. You can now
8%
get a
faster?
jewel with 6%, and you can stack those. That is ridiculous.
That is true. Ignites are in, dude. I'll
And
figure out a build with Ignite.
yeah, I think that's like really big on my radar. I'm not making up my mind and see patch notes, but
I want to see what the league mechanic is too.
and the league mechanic may have something to do with it, but I definitely think I'm going something ignite up front. For sure. And elemental overload still works with ignite. But elemental overload is being changed, so you have to crit with that skill.
Yep.
So
That's true.
No
certain
more Stormbrand using it.
unless you're using Stormbrand for
Sure.
that. Certain
Faster.
very hard hitting, slow builds aren't going to take that. If you're doing something like Armageddon brand or Penance brand or things that hit fast, you'll still take it. But anything that hits hard and slow won't take it.
Hmm.
Cold Dot, I don't really know a lot about. I haven't played Cold Dot since Betrayal.
I've never played it.
Betrayal, I think, was the last time I played Cold Dot, and a lot has changed since then. It's gotten a lot stronger since then. But
Oh,
I think,
they really buffed Vortex a
yeah, a
lot.
Yeah.
lot of things got
Hell yeah.
really, like, really buffed, yeah. But you got to figure they're no longer getting EE or EO anymore. So that could probably, if you were only looking at that aspect of just the base number and EEEO, I'm pretty sure you would say it was just a nerf, but that is not considering all the extra dot multi on amulet, dot multi on rings, higher dot multi on jewels, on gloves. Like, I'm pretty sure you're still gonna be like, it's still gonna be good.
Magnet. Hmm.
An explosive concoction is being changed.
What are they changing about it?
No longer deals 30 to 49% more damage with ignite if charges were consumed. It now has plus 40 to 78 damage over time multiplier if ignite if charges were consumed from a ruby flask.
Okay, that's gonna make Ignites better. That actually would be fun to play around with then. See if that would be viable.
Says ignite with this skill is now 155% higher if you had 50 to fire damage over time multi.
Right?
That's pretty big.
What was the problem you found with that skill, Slim? Explosive
The problem I
concoction.
found with the shotgun. If it's shotgun, kind of like what Deedle said. It was just missing like the animation. I don't know. It's just, well, number one, obviously the flash changes made it really hard, right? Like if we had a regular flash, like before they nerfed the flash charge and stuff like that, and like to sustain, the skill would have been well more received pre flash nerf, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, I think just the overall like I guess, nerf of the flasks and not being able to sustain as easy as we could made it harder to enjoy in early levels. And it's kind of like take this with a grain of salt. A lot of people say this. A lot of people say that that you shouldn't level with the skill that you want to use in in game. Sometimes that's true, and it probably could have been a factor for a lot of people in that, like, may not have been that enjoyable to play with as a flask thrower because you didn't have any ability to invest in flask management. No passive to help you manage flasks, especially if you didn't have a flask character or had any passive that allow you to, lift
Okay.
you up, that kind of thing. So, outside of the flash changes, I think maybe if it shotgunned, it probably would have been better. It could have been better, but then you know how they are with shotgunning stuff. People find a way to like obliterate the game with that kind of stuff, and I think that's why they left it alone. But
I thought it did shotgun though.
it didn't. It overlapped. Well, I mean, I guess
Which
you could
is
say that.
shotgunning.
You could say that, but no, not all of them are able to though. That's the thing. Like at a certain amount, like only after like LMP, you can only hit like three
Yeah,
overlaps
that
out of like
makes
the
sense.
five you
That's
might
kind of
throw.
that kind of happens with a lot of skills though.
Sure. So like,
Just
yeah,
like
the potential
Forbidden
was
Raid
there.
only overlaps with like 5,
Yeah,
so anything over that, you're kind of
I
getting
think it's
diminishing
a
returns.
I think it's a bias um, feedback because of the fact that just flasks were so fucking punch in the mouth, and then they come out with like a cool ass flask skill. It hurt a lot of people's feelings because it's like, bro, y'all really could have introduced this before you hurt flask. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people looked at it that way. Honestly,
With the
Stark.
extra charges and the reduced charges used and stuff like that, maybe it'll make and the
Yeah,
buff to ignite, maybe it'll make it better.
that's good. I hope so. I'll revisit it for sure. I
I
would like
forgot it.
to.
I
I would like to
forgot
play
it
it on a
even
different basis this time
existed.
because Berserker was like zoom zoom go fast and stuff, and I didn't do ignites, and I tried the elementalist up to like level 60, and it just felt bad. Like it felt real bad. So maybe maybe give another shot and relooking at some of the remakes and stuff and the changes and maybe trying to slap something together. I don't know. I just always thought it was cool if they could like bring other flasks to the picture. Like, how like you used topaz flasks and like you use ruby flasks and all that stuff, right? Sapphires. What if you were able to use like a basalt flask to throw like physical potions and you're able to use it on a gladiator and stuff, like, what I'm saying, like throw potions of like physical damage or arcane potions using an amethyst, an amethyst flasks, and throw it on using a cultist for pops, like just some cool ideas that I think they could go with it if they ever decided to advance that skill. But I think it still is meh, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I think it still could be fleshed out more, or you add more creativity behind it, the
Yeah,
thematical theme of it.
I completely
It would
forgot
be
it
dope, broccoli. It would
existed.
be, yeah. Like, just think about it. Think about all the flasks and like what those could like convert into damage wise. You could get creative with it. I mean, fucking poison flask. You know what I'm saying? Like, throw poison flask and leave a dot damage on the ground. Kind of take up kind of have like a different style of a dot damage with poison flask. Acid flasks. I don't know what flask charges you would use to make acid, but I mean, you could come up with something out there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it'd be crazy. But I like that idea. Just I think it just, I don't know. It's just one league. Stark is kind of like going to a restaurant, eating one time, and think you're like, think that the shit is doo doo when you've only ate there once. A lot of variables can change that when you go back a second time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. I'll be revisiting for sure.
So is the only reason they're buffing damage over time, ignite and cold dot because of the elemental equilibrium changes and overload? Is that what prompted this?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
most
don't
likely.
know. I don't
It
know
sounds
though.
reasonable.
You ask a lot of questions like, why did they do this thing?
Yeah.
We don't know.
That's what I'm most well, that's what I'm most
We,
interested in.
well, we need to get a GGG employee to be on the podcast at some point then, so you can pick their brain about this. And we could speculate and say yes or no, but it doesn't mean that we're gonna have the right answers for it.
Hmm.
It would
All
be.
right.
It would be frown code. I agree. Could be.
So Atlas changes?
I don't
Member
know.
content?
Atlas changes, I think, again, I think a lot of these changes to blanket in right here, right now, benefit your average player quite a bit, which, obviously they shouldn't balance around the 1%. The 1% are gonna do what they're gonna do and find ways to break the
No matter
game,
what,
make a
yeah.
lot of currency, and do crazy things no matter what they do. So it doesn't really matter to buff or nerf around them. It does make sense to buff and nerf around your average player base. And I think that a lot of these changes benefit your average player more so than most buffs and nerfs that they normally do. The Atlas changes will make most people, I think, involved for quite a long time. For me personally, I kind of have mixed opinions about it because on one hand, the grind from 16 to 32 watch zones is a pain in the ass.
Okay.
It really is. But that is something that kinda keeps me invested for a bit longer. Now, I can also see on the flip side of that where people just get fed up and quit at that time. So maybe it'll keep most people invested for longer, and you will be able to get your atlas to a completed state a little bit sooner and then maybe focus on some bossing. They are taking some maps out, so they will be cycling certain maps in and out.
Per league. Yeah, that's cool.
Hopefully, they leave a lot of the, the good maps. I'm sure they'll take a few good maps out.
Goodbye,
Um,
Strand.
kind of kind of what I'm thinking though,
Stop it.
well, Strand hasn't really been like a super meta like map in a long time since they changed the way
2.6.
density works.
2.6, 2.5 Strand meta.
Yeah, but that was fucking
4 years
5
ago.
years ago. We're not talking about 2.6. We're talking about 315, 316.
That was before they even had a map tab.
Yeah. I mean, you wanna go back before that, you had Gorge meta.
That's true.
Gorge
You had
meta was great.
you had Springs.
Gorge
But
meta.
Gorge, yeah, Rip George, man.
Gorge.
Rip
Gorge.
George,
Gorge
dude.
was awesome. It was a great
Rip
map.
George, man. Gorge became Canyon, I believe, but they changed it a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but so hopefully they don't just take out all the good maps and leave us with all the shit maps, but I don't think they're gonna do that. Question I have about it is like, what happens to certain maps like maps that have just like divination cards, like
Port
burials? Like that
Port's a
kind of
good
gets
map. Go
like you
ahead.
kind of have to leave burial chambers in at all times because it has the doctor card. Now you
Yep.
can get them what Spider Force too. Spider Force, I
That'd be
think. But
make it that'd make it interesting. That'd make it interesting to remove that.
nobody ever farms Spider Force for doctor cards. They farm burials or residents for Dapper Prodigies.
You
There's
don't think they're
certain
gonna
situations.
change all the maps that go
Drop
with divination
location?
codes? Yeah, drop location,
Mm.
change them every league.
I mean, they've done no, not every league, no. That would take too much for them. So you'd have to shuffle the atlas, change out maps, and bring maps in, bring maps out, change atlas passives if they are going to do that, and divinations.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so. Now,
Like that's a
will they
lot of
do it
hard.
every now and again? Sure. Sometimes, like every so often, every once in a blue moon, they shuffle around divination drop rates and not rates, but locations. But are they going to do it every league? No, I don't think so. And it's definitely not going to be a global drop thing. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But um, so your conqueror grind should be much more less tedious. Your atlas completion will be much less tedious. Your overall your bonus objectives and awaken objectives, the bonuses you get from that should be technically stronger because you'll be getting basically not double, but like 1.5 times the power of each point, unless they rebalance around that. And our Atlas passives should be getting
Doubled?
pushed in. Well, they're not going to get doubled
No, I mean the
because
amount of that we're allowed to allocate.
the amount that you're allowed to allocate, yeah. So we should be able to allocate 20 per region now. But
Mhm.
that doesn't mean that there's going to be any extra power in that. It just means that you could potentially, well, I guess it will, because you'll have certain things you can farm, certain mechanics a little bit more, uh, just on one map. Say, because you could maybe have Breach and Beyond on the same place, or Delirium and Beyond on the same place.
I think those
it's like,
changes were a long time coming. Because even
I
Chris
hope it gets.
said, even Chris said he didn't understand the Watchstone system himself.
Yeah, but that doesn't really change the way the system works, though, either.
Start making me hungry.
It's
Fuck.
gonna
I'm good.
change the amount of time you spend on it, but the fundamental system is still gonna remain the same
Right.
until next league, when they say they're gonna completely overhaul
That'll be
the
nice.
the whole thing.
That'll be nice.
So maybe Maven fights will now, like, how do Maven fights work if we're gonna have 20? Do we get 4? Is it gonna be the same amount per invitation, and then we just get 4 passives per fight?
Crazy to think about.
So
Yeah, I
there's
don't
some,
know.
like, unknown things that I'm not sure, but overall, I think the Atlas changes are very widely accepted as a good thing, and I think it'll be
Mhm.
a good thing.
Oh, let's hope.
What other kind of Uber content besides the stuff we've seen do you think they'll come out with? Because we have
You're
already
talking
seen.
about Simulacrum.
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool as
Simulacrum with
shit.
extra waves.
That'd be dope. I
They were
already
talking
like.
about
Go ahead.
they were talking about ultimatums with,
I already like
extra
Simulacrum,
waves.
so ultimatums are extra weight.
Extra waves, yeah, at the
Wave
end.
More than 10.
Waves.
waves. No, dude, it's
Yeah.
stance. Stamps.
Oh yeah, stamps.
So, simulacrums get really, really hard towards 19 and 20 unless you're playing an uber strong, like, aura stacker, or a build that has lots and lots of currency invested in it.
Yeah, they're hard as fuck.
So you add more on, and it's gonna be uber, all right.
Yep.
Same with the Legion, the domain of timeless conflict one. Like, that shit looks crazy. I have to only assume that the other uh, emblems will have different modifiers, because you think if you stack those 5 and you'll have 4% pen, 4% physical pen per time they're revived times 5. So immediately you have 20% pen of elements and physical per time they're revived. That means if you revive them 4 times, you're getting 80 pen and
Right.
80 fizz damage reduction pen. Now that the fizz damage can't go below negative, but pen can. Your pen can go negative.
I just
And
gotta.
if they revive it 4 times, then that's crazy. So I assume that each one is gonna have a different modifier.
You gotta make sure everybody's got a headhunter at that point.
I don't even think a headhunter's gonna save you there, because pen isn't taken from your overcap; it's taken from your cap. If you have
Hmm.
150
Yeah, but I
uncapped
mean,
res, it doesn't matter.
killing them before they have any chance to do anything.
Right.
And plus, they have increased life. Trying to find them. Um, Trying to find the exact post here. I'm struggling. Oh, here it is. Unrelenting Legion emblem. They have 10% increased max life each time they're revived, 4% pen of elemental, and 4% physical damage reduction, 10% improved rewards. And that's only the Vol emblem.
Just ignite and go to next mob. Gonna need some good armor. Maybe 10% stronger than today's armor would do it.
But armor doesn't matter. Armor
Mm.
doesn't protect you against pen. And overwhelm fizz damage is, like I said, can't go to 0. or it can't go below 0. It's the pen that I'm mostly concerned about. If they hit you one time with 0% with 80% pen, you're gonna fall over. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
You gonna eat it,
You're
son.
gonna be -5. That's like go into a regular 5-way right now with -5 all resistances. You tell me how that works out for you.
Hmm. What
The
else?
Blight Ravaged maps,
Mm.
seem okay. They seem really, really strong. They seem very difficult. 200% more monster life on a monster level 85. 20% increased monster movement speed, so they're gonna be moving faster. And can be anointed up to 9 times. So I can see that some people are gonna be doing some silly things. I seen, what was it, Sir Gog had a video talking about like some of the silly combinations, and you could potentially get 100% reduced costs of building and upgrading towers. So your towers basically be free.
Oh wow.
Um, or if someone really wanted to go really crazy ham and do the teal oils, which make it shortens the amount of time and makes them spawn faster. If you did
That's
9 of
true.
those, you would just be like in like crazy, crazy town. Um, the Delve revamp, there's no new Delve boss, but they're saying that there's new Delve rewards,
Yeah, double rewards. Yeah, I saw that.
which the the example that they gave seems really fucking crazy because okay, unique boss drops 17 additional fossils. Cool, right? Nice,
Yeah.
17 fossils. Unique bosses are always critical strikes, and they have an all here, right? An area always contains a unique boss. Now, there's other modifiers here. 64% monster life. Increased crit, which doesn't matter because he always crits.
Hmm.
44 to critical strike monster multi.
Uh-huh.
Fizz damage reduction. 102 extra fizz as lightning, chain, and 12% penetration. So you have always crits, more multi, fizz is extra. He takes reduced
That's
extra damage
fucking
from crits plus 12% pen. So it doesn't matter what he drops because you're not going to get it. You're going to die. That's the kind of type of node you go to and you're like, I'd like to kill my character today. Oh, look, here's an all with these crazy stats. I said the other day, like, that, like, you're in like, that's the type of thing you might die just by looking at your delve chart. Just by looking at it, your
Yeah.
character might fall over.
right.
We're in danger just talking about it.
Jesus.
Fucking people have trouble doing white holes.
We're in danger just talking about that shit, dude.
But, to be fair, this is at a really deep delve. Like, his
Yeah,
sulfite
yeah, 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 yeah.
capacity is 63,000. The quantity and rarity is 122 quantity and 71 rarity, 46 pack size. So this is a very deep all, right? Because you're not going to have that kind of quantity and rarity and pack
No.
size and sulfite capacity at delve depth 100. So
Interesting, interesting.
that's pretty cool though. So maybe they'll make it, uh something like that. Iron Will is being added to the tree. Flawless Breachstones are
Yeah, I
also
thought that was cool.
being added, which rare monsters drop 2 additional reward types. Area has 4 additional random modifiers. So that means that you could potentially throw a flawless breachstone in and have reflect or no regen and potentially not be able to run it with your current set of the build.
Jeez.
Monster level 84, 200% increased experience gain, which is always the case, 250% more monster life, 60% increased rarity, and 60% increased pack size. The rewards that they say, so here's the modifiers, the 4 modifiers plus the 2 reward types that
Mm-hmm.
give. You have monsters poison on hit, 50 to monster fire res. Monsters deal 98% extra physis fire. Each breach monster can drop a divination card.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, rare breach monsters drop an additional divination card, which that could be really good, right? Especially if there's a lot of rares in there, you get a lot of divination. Rare breach monsters have 50% chance to drop a map. All monster damage ignites. Monsters deal 52% fizz as extra chaos. Monster damage pen 10% chaos. 10% chaos. Rarity impact size. And that's just the Cholula. So it looks pretty tough. I think that it's gonna be it's gonna be uber content. Like it's not something that you're gonna be able to just get and be like drop on a level 90 character and be like, oh, I'll go run this.
Nah,
No,
that's
you're
gonna
gonna have
be.
to be like min max to the nth degree and really, really have some.
Yep.
They've pretty
Hold
much
on.
already.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. What?
Wait a
Hold
second.
on. Did
Wait a
this
second.
just get? Did this just? Wait.
What?
655.
Six.
Alongside introducing other forms of Uber endgame content, Path of Exile Scourge also changes the way players access the Eternal Labyrinth.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
you
was
didn't
gonna
see
ask
that?
about it. I was
Finding
gonna ask about
all
that.
6 Trials of Ascendancy often took a
You
very
just
large
you
number
just
of
take a
maps,
thing in now.
assuming players were playing alone. It averaged to around 150 maps to find them all, but could be much more if players were unlucky.
Yep.
By this point, players were often over-leveled to the content and were starting to encounter difficult enough endgame content where the extra ascendancy was sorely needed. This problem would be further exacerbated by the reduction in atlas size taking place in Scourge. We recently added a means to open random trials of ascendancy. While this made finding trials easier, it felt lossy as it requires to use to
Here,
sacrifice something of value.
I'll give you a
You could
TLDR
have
because
used
this is
that to
really
run an
long.
internal. Oh my god. I'm
It's
literally there. You'll no longer need to complete all the trials of ascendancy found in maps in order to access the Eternal Lab. You simply just need to travel to the labyrinth and put an offering in.
yeah, and lab trials don't occur until yellow maps. So, one offering, Uber Lab trials don't occur until yellow maps.
Easy.
Well, what do you need trials for then?
You don't need it.
Just the offering.
And you
Oh,
get everything. Yeah,
Which
you
you
get the
can get
offering,
on
and then
trade.
that's it.
just get the offering from.
Yep.
But
So what's
wait,
going to happen is obviously it's going to be crazy because you're going to see a lot of that done quickly.
Yep.
I mean, you have to get the yellow map, sure, but I mean it's not hard to get to.
No.
Just a little bit more time invested, but then also actually it's less time investment considering the RNG that we had to go through the first time. But now you're going to see I wonder if the prices are going to be absurd for those things since it instantly grants access into once people start selling them because none of those things are what 1 to 2 chaos. I'm curious to see how much those will jump in price. If they will, they may not. Interesting to think about. I don't know. One league I had a friend drop 2x before I found my last lab trial. Bro, I found a Exalt in Act 1 before. It's okay. It happens.
no, you
I mean,
didn't. They don't
Yes, I
drop
did.
No, you
Yeah.
didn't.
Yes. How?
They have a drop. They have a. They
So
have a
do
drop.
you consider? Well, this is before they did the whole changes to the whole 1 through 10. Do you consider the Southern Forest Act 1 or 2? Because it's not in between.
It's
I mean,
Act
it is in
1,
between, but okay, yeah,
but
that's where I dropped.
there's a drop level on Exalt.
And drop there. Maybe maybe it's changed since then, but maybe it hasn't always been there. This is before they did the whole 1 through 10x, and it was where you had to do multiple cruel and merciless difficulties.
Well, maybe were you in cruel
Nope.
or
Normal.
merciless?
Normal. I'll go back and find the clip too. Normal.
You'll find the clip. You were streaming,
Yeah.
you were streaming Path of Exile. When did they change that?
Before they did the changes, yeah. Before they did the 1 through 10 changes or 1 through Act 10 changes, yeah.
This was 3.0, so it was what, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Here, show me a
Hard
clip.
mode, you still gotta do all trials and wait, huh? Oh man, I thought it was some information you were really talking about.
No, it's a meme.
Speaking of hard mode, any information been leaked since all information they've been talking about? No, not yet. We're probably going to hear about it on the live stream. They'll probably like get more people hyped up about it again.
I'm sure we'll hear it on the live stream.
Yeah, they'll talk about it at some point. I don't think we're gonna get it this league though. I don't think it's ready.
You don't think so?
Mm.
Deleting all the content and adding bare bones and just giving it to us? We might get it, dude.
I don't think it will.
Hmm.
I don't believe so.
I'm starving. Y'all been eating, man. Make me hungry as shit, dude.
I ain't really been eating. I just been like
Snacking. You've been snacking.
snacking
Stark's
on a
been straight up
granola bar.
full meal, full course meal,
Full meal
And
smacking
an-
his jaws in his mic. So
and an
we
amuse.
just hear like a cow
before.
eating or something.
No cows here. Only cows are in Diablo 2
It
Resurrected.
sounded like it for a
Beck said
second.
on Reddit it's not ready for
Smacking
league
his
launch, but it's
jaws.
coming. Oh, okay. I bet my life it will be this league, and and it will be my life. Brown coat. Uber synthesis maps. I don't know, Deed. What you think?
About Uber synth maps?
Hopefully, he said. Oh, hopefully we get them. That's gonna be crazy. That'd be wild.
So you got Legion. Maybe you get like an Uber Cortex potentially.
I don't know, man.
I could see that being a thing.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on?
I'll touch
went through
on
the Uber content.
I'll touch on that. What, Sacred Orb? I found something really good about it.
Tell me about it.
Well, do you know what it does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just rerolls, and it's
Rerolls the
It
bases.
rerolls the base 0 to 10% increase
yeah.
inbuilt quality, or 0
Yep.
to 20 on the energy shield, and it's 3 times as rare as an Exalted Orb.
Yep.
So it becomes the second rarest currency in the game.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem worth it all to me.
You don't think so?
Hell no. You're gonna spend like
I wouldn't buy one. Is what I'm saying.
It's the second most rarest. It's 3 times more rare than an Exalt, and the second rarest behind a mirror. Now you look at what an Exalt does, it gives you an extra affix. You look at what a mirror does, it completely mirrors your thing. You think re-rolling and getting extra 10% increased armor on your base, not with the modifiers, just the base.
Just the base, yeah.
You think that warrants that type of rarity?
Nah. I just like your reaction. Hell no! Fuck no!
So, so there was a Reddit post about this that pretty much summed up everything in just a perfect package, I felt. So I'm just going to read the Reddit post on it. It's by a guy named Saladful, which I don't know if anyone knows him, but he's Saladful.
And it's random. So you're not even guaranteed to get it. If you have 3% on your quality, you might
it's not
go
even
to
guaranteed?
2.
Well, hell no.
Yeah. So
Go ahead, Stark.
Saladful just posted this thing, and I just thought it was perfect. He said, "It doesn't ruin the game, but it's definitely a weird addition that makes one question what they were thinking, and does cause some concerns for where the game might be going. It boils down to GGG introducing a new mechanic that could have been interesting on its own, then introduced a new problem that didn't really exist previously alongside it, and then Ultra also introduced a solution to that problem, except the solution is excessively rare while providing a benefit that was basically free before. It creates a weird scenario where nothing has really changed, except what was pretty mundane before is now locked behind the second rarest currency in the game, an RNG, immediately destroying the benefit of the system that caused this item to be introduced in the first place. It's just weird. The end result is really that the status quo didn't change. They just pulled several levers and added yet more clunk and RNG to basically achieve the same damn thing as before.
I mean, he's got a point.
I agree. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, he
Because it
does.
doesn't make any sense, and it does kind of invalidate the change to bases a bit.
Yep.
Not really for like SSF, because you may not even get one in SSF, and even in trade, that if they're that rare and people do end up using them and consuming them, then they're going to be expensive probably. But rare doesn't equal expensive in all cases, but if they're being consumed, it will. It kind of invalidates the whole bases dropping with, higher armor or higher evasion or higher energy shield, because now if you just want to min max it, you could roll on whatever and just throw a stack. You think someone like Empyrean or like MP and his group or Path of Math or people who are really, really good and make a lot of currency each league, you think they're gonna really care about the bases on the ground, or they're just gonna make craft their gear and then say, okay, now it's time to go spend 100 exalts on this sacred orb and make my perfect astral or perfect energy shield base
Nope.
truly perfect.
The 1% don't care. No.
If I was them, I would just buy a perfect base to begin with. Just buy a 20% base to begin with.
But what if you end up dropping or crafting or buying a base that's already perfectly rolled, but it has 0% quality on it?
Then you use armor scraps. What do you mean?
I'm talking about the inbuilt quality, not and that's another thing. It introduces this weird
Weird thing.
way to talk about it, because now you have an inbuilt quality
Yeah.
and
And
your
you have
armor
the
scraps.
quality.
This
But
quality is
that's-
not replacing the armor scraps.
But that's
You're
what I
still gonna
said.
have.
That's what I said in the
still-
first place. Don't even buy the 0% inbuilt quality one. You just buy the max inbuilt quality one.
I'm saying, what if you end up getting or crafting or buying one that's already perfectly rolled? You have T1 energy shield, T1 hybrid, T1 flat, but it's 0%. Or are you going to go buy the one that's 20% in built quality that isn't rolled well and try to get those triple T1 stats on that? Right?
Oh, you're talking before they craft it. No, you're talking after it's already crafted.
Yep.
Either way.
Well, see, but
Maybe
if
they
it's a
don't want to
white,
craft it, and maybe they're just gonna buy the triple T1 Vol Regalia, and there is no 20% triple T1s, but there's a 0% inbuilt quality triple T1. And then the best 20% quality one that you could either buy, if they're just gonna buy it, isn't triple T1.
Hmm.
Shiny? That makes sense. It make it a lot easier to talk about.
It would make
I
it
don't
easy.
know. I mean, I don't really care. Like, it does kind of invalidate the whole drop system being like, now you can change it. But he's right. It doesn't break the game in any way. It doesn't make the game really any worse.
Nah.
Although it will feel bad, like, if you drop one of them and don't really care, and in the back of your head, you're thinking, like, that maybe could have been an Exalt instead of that stupid Sacred Orb that I don't care about.
oh yeah, yeah.
Here's another problem. 1 in 20 are gonna be max rolled anyway. Why would I spend exalts to force it on an item when I'm spending exalts? I could probably just buy. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Probably could just buy the item.
Yeah, the stuff's
I
just
don't
gonna
know.
be on
I
trade,
don't know.
and people are
It's
just
just
gonna
another option for
the
people.
never sync filters, the uber strict that people run is just gonna account for white bases already having 20%.
Yep.
So it's like
I don't know.
it just
I
doesn't.
really hope that it's displayed somewhere. Even if you have to press Alt and it's in advanced, I really hope that it's displayed, because otherwise you need to memorize all of the base numbers, and then if it drops rare, that gets thrown out the window, because then you need to know the base numbers and then do the math on if it does drop with armor scrap quality and what is the regular quality. It needs to be displayed. If it's not, then there's a terrible flaw in that system.
I think it's going to matter the most for uniques, but who's going to use a third? Who's going to use something 3 times as rare as an Exalt?
Min-maxers.
Yeah, just to get more evasion, which they never cared about in the first place.
Yeah, but
Bruh.
evasion's more stronger now,
It's
so
sure.
it's gonna be
but-
more used on energy shield bases than anything.
Sure.
Like if you get an astral with a little bit of extra armor, cool. If not, who cares?
Right.
That's exactly right.
Or if you get a zodiac leather or a cutthroat garb or whatever the top evasion base is, whatever it is with
What is it? Zodiac? I thought it was Zodiac.
is it? But there's another one with movement speed too as
Oh,
an
Assassin's Garb.
implicit.
Assassin's
Assassin's
Garb.
garb, yeah.
Yeah. You are right, sir.
I agree with Bite Hades.
You say? We complain about too much loot being worthless. Now they've solved the issue by making us filter even more of it.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be worthless. Like if you find it in trade, there'll still be a market for it. If you're playing an SSF, you're still probably gonna pick it up
Right?
just in case you do want to craft that thing. It creates that problem that never really existed.
Right. Weird. What else? Is that
I don't
it?
know. I mean, really, my whole, if I had like the end, like an ending point, and this is just me because not everybody agrees with me. Some people do, a lot of people do, a lot of people don't. But I just hope that this league is more grasping. You know what I mean? Like I've said, like last episode, I hope this league is more intriguing than the last one. I'm not saying everything about last league was bad or like didn't like feel good or something. Whatever. It just wasn't interesting enough for me. But I hope it hits hits that spot to where I'm like I like want to play a lot than just
Playing an
get a
SSF,
get a level get a level 92 character and never play again. You know what I mean?
I
Like
really
I
like
want
the
to do
vendor
multiple.
system.
That's what I
Like
liked. Yes, exactly.
Grog was really, really good to craft
That
things
was the
and
best
get
part.
bases early without having to run like, top tier Conqueror maps, and Gwenin help leveling and get certain rare uniques that
Mm-hmm.
were previously unobtainable in an SSF scenario. The league mechanic itself, logbooks were a lot of fun,
Logbooks were good.
and I feel like the expeditions themselves were good after you set them up. It took a lot of time, especially early, to really like read each remnant, run around in a circle, say, okay, where do I want to start? Okay, I'm gonna start over here. Bam, 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 bam.
Right.
Sometimes that would take a minute. And then if you couldn't reach the one that you really wanted to start on,
Yep.
then you had to like run around again. You have to say,
Yep.
okay, fine. Then you did it. And then maybe you can't reach the one you wanted to
You
end
thought you did. You
on.
had to reback
And you're like,
again. Yeah.
fuck, I got to do it again. So you got to a point where you just didn't even care and you were just throwing down
Yep.
explosives
That's
wherever,
how I felt
looking
most
for
of the
the
time
yellow
I did it.
text,
Yeah.
making sure that your build's not being gimped. And sometimes you would still do that because you would read a reward and get blindsided and be like, oh, word, this reward, and then not even think about it. And you're like,
And get fucking
immune
immuned. Yep.
immune to fire, immune to cold, immune to chaos. And you're like, oh, fuck, I fucked up here.
Fuck this shit up. Let me call
Yeah.
for a friend. Hold on. Hey,
I
can you
really
come help
wish it
me? I
was
got portals open, dude.
I really wish it was a bit more streamlined in setting it up, and I hope this league coming is a bit more
Smoother.
smooth
Yep.
going into it. That's why I really like Delirium as well, like my favorite league, because it ticked a
You
lot of the boxes. You could do it while leveling or in maps, and it didn't involve a lot of setup.
It
You
didn't
just
involve a lot
ran
of
through the mirror.
backtracking either. There was no backtracking. It was just go.
There
Yep.
was in deli maps. If you ran
Oh,
top
that's
tier,
true.
like
That's true.
100% deli maps, you were backtracking because if you
Sure.
stopped, you died. Um, But during the leveling in regular maps that you just ran through the mirror and you went, it was rewarding, it was challenging, and it added a level on top. It was like you could just run base content and maps and leveling. It didn't slow you down at all though, because it was just an existing layer that just added on top. And then if you didn't want to do it, you didn't have to do it. So I hope it's something like that. Not necessarily delirium again, but something that ticks those boxes in the same way that delirium did.
Yep.
2 days.
We will find out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out towards coming up soon. And I really like the new teas. Well, it's not new. They've done this a million times in the past, but they've abandoned it the past few leagues. I'm glad they brought out and back the refreshed teaser system and giving us balanced manifesto early so we can plan things, and hopefully this also translates to patch notes being
Early.
uh early as well and
Oh,
not 2 to 3 days, because not only does it benefit us for planning out your builds, knowing what is nerfed and buffed and how the tree is, it also benefits things like people and things like Filter Blade
Yeah.
doing his
that's
filter,
true.
so his
Yeah.
filter can get out earlier
I think he
than
gets
day
stuff.
of.
I think he gets stuff from GGG privately.
I don't
before
know, though, because he usually doesn't have updates ready until the day of launch. I always have to go in and do my filter a couple days early and just save it, and then when he updates, I go in and I tick
Go in
all the
and
new stuff. That way,
yep.
I'm not spending all day on that Friday on launch day just spending hours or an hour or so on my filter. I can go in, change the new stuff, and bam, I'm ready. But also POB,
Yeah.
the coders and creators of POB will also benefit, which will also in turn benefit us in the long. So I really hope that that translates over to balance manifest or not balance patch notes as well. And we don't just get them, 2 to 3 days before the league launches. But I do like this new format of balance manifesto early and, stringing teasers in. I feel it keeps the interest more than just showing us a teaser and saying, okay, wait till the announcement.
I like the fact that they say they're getting community feedback from the Balance
That too.
Manifesto
Yeah,
changes.
of course, because that's, big reason why they wanted to do it. And we'll see how much they actually take into account,
Yeah.
player feedback and where they go with it.
Sure. I'm excited. That's all I can say. I'm excited because I want to get back into playing more. It's been a nice break. I want to play something. You know what I mean? I want to play some pad, dude.
1 day, 15 hours? I think it's 1 day, 14 hours, isn't it? Isn't it 4 PM EST?
It's noon Pacific, so that's 3 p.m. EST.
It's noon? I thought it was 1 PST.
Their tweet
It's just
said noon
hold on.
earlier today.
So yeah, we will see.
Um,
I'm starving.
All
Damn you, Stark.
right.
where even
Damn
is it? I
you.
don't even know where it is.
It's right on the Twitter. On the very first thing on their Twitter.
I thought it said 1 PM PST though.
Great class is out for blood. Will it be
1
yours?
day, 15 hours and 57 minutes. Yeah, oh yeah, I
Uh,
forgot about. Wait,
noon,
huh?
October 14th, Pacific Daylight Time. Oh shit! I just that was out of habit. I did that.
It
Shit.
says 1 day, 14 hours and 57 minutes. Not 15 hours, Adrian.
There you go. Frown coat got it.
So that would be wait, what? 14 hours from now would be 5 PM. Would it
No, it'll
not?
be
Oh,
12.
no, yeah. Getting the
It'll be
2 at the
14. It'd still be
I'm an
4.
idiot.
It'll still
Yeah.
be 4.
No.
Because 12 hours is
It would
12
be
hours is
3.
12
It
noon,
would be
and then the
3.
14 hours.
It would be 3 PM
I'm just
EST.
glad they give the time.
Huh?
They just post the time right
3
there
PM EST.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Yeah,
in
because 12
Pacific,
is
so I
exactly.
don't have to
And then
do any
you got
translations or math or anything. Great.
It says the noon PD at
Mm,
PDT.
Noon Pacific.
So that's It's a lot of information to take in and try to digest. I just hope that everything gets implemented smoothly. I mean, there's chances that when you make big sweeping changes, something's not going to work right.
Well, that's what happened in
Ultimate,
this league.
ultimately, I hope that the league itself is engaging and fun. The servers are stable, right? Because none of it matters if you can't play the fucking game. You're getting DC'd anyway,
That's true.
right? That's a big thing. Nobody wants a league launch that you get DC'd and kicked out of game. Which, to be fair, Expedition was smooth. Ultimatum was not. Probably the worst launch ever. So I'd say, yeah, I'm ready to see what Scourge brings in a couple days, and
I'm just ready to find out where Beck said hard mode isn't ready.
Oh no.
Silly.
Oh boo hoo. It's not ready yet.
yeah, the launch
Stupid.
was really good. Servers were like server was really good.
Yep. We'll find out, man. They won't release hard mode at the league start.
All
I
right,
don't know.
so
We'll see.
anyone coming in at the end of this, you can find this video of the whole entire thing, the whole 2 hours, 30 minutes on Deedledo's YouTube.
Yep.
It'll be up by tomorrow morning at the latest. Should be up, within a couple hours. I usually get it after my stream.
Oh, sure.
So it'll be up by tomorrow morning. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, check it out. Leave us a comment, share, subscribe, like, hell, dislike it. Do what you do.
Do what you gotta do.
You know.
Three
But
white guys, dude. Just trying to be relevant. That's all.
That's an inside joke of our first.
That's all it is. Just do that.
Well, we were old white guys. Like that's what the guy said.
Old white guys. That's right. Old. Golly.
Homie.
Yeah, homie. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate you. Good talk. Hey, Dad. Thanks for hanging out, man. That was good. That was good chatting with you. That was good. That's for real.
We'll have some fun on the after show, and then we'll do the after party at Deedledo's channel. How about
that? Hell yeah!
I'm in me some fucking hard shell tacos now.
Bring
Fuck
some chips.
All right.
I'm gonna make me a burrito.
Bye.
Yeah, it was Taco Tuesday, but hey, we're gonna get them now.
True.
See y'all.
See ya.